what the Church of Scientology is so afraid of.
This is SPTV.
And one more coming.
Yeah.
Get it here, Mark.
Welcome back for All Things Scientology, where we pull back the curtain on the abusive practices of Scientology. We are your hosts, Claire Headley
and Amy Scobee. And as you can see, we have special guests tonight, which is my husband, Mat Pesch.
And my husband, Marc Headley.
Yes.
Hey, guys.
Yeah, so the first thing that we wanted to do was cover the highlights of the week since our last broadcast. And there was a lot that went on this week. And I have slides for this too, so I'm going to get these pulled up here.
And we should comment, this is only half of the picture because this is what we're showing you. The other half went on and is in the works and will be discussed at the appropriate times.
At a later appropriate date.
Yes.
That's right. That's right. Well, one of the first things from this last week, because you've been asking and asking, is how is Mike? And Mike Rinder did an update this week. And so on his blog is a video with him and Christy, and he gave a beautiful update. And the comments on that have just been amazing and wonderful.
Yes, agreed.
So that was really, really great to see. And then another thing is the Never Inners have done chatathons for Mike, all night chatathons. And it's with Denver Steve-O, Marilyn, Juliana Bittencourt, and Clearwater Chad, with other special guests. Like in this picture, you can see Marc Headley and Mark Fisher in there. And
it was so much fun.
My gosh.
Yes.
I watched it.
I think I went in for just an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And they'd already been going for a few hours when I showed up. Yeah. And yeah, we had a blast. And they made a video. Denver Steve-O edited a video that a lot of viewers of all the different SPTV channels sent in, like well wishes for Mike. And it was very, very good. I loved it. I cannot. They were supposed to send me a link so that I could share it with Mike and Christy, but I think maybe they're still tweaking it or something. I haven't gotten one.
Or maybe they've been sleeping since then, because I just got an email from them of the giveaways. So.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's true. They were doing it. It was 10 hours straight.
Through the night.
Wow.
Through the night. Yeah. And all kinds of guests would pop in, like Kelly Copter and different people.
Yes.
And I saw the compilation that they did. It makes you cry.
Oh my gosh.
So
I was bawling. I was literally sobbing.
How much do you love this community? I mean,
it's
everyone
so
is
amazing,
so caring and so amazing. It just makes my heart full.
I know.
And when Mike's just going to be overwhelmed when he sees that.
He really is.
Amy, Mark and I did a live the other day, and I said very sincerely, my personal favorite category of this community is Never Ends. And the reason why is because I was just so inspired by people they had no skin in the game, so to speak, no personal knowledge, but they had their own experiences. And the fact that they were willing to come to the table and share their voices just made me feel like, who am I to be afraid?
Right.
Honestly, like, why am I afraid? Like, these people inspired me, were a huge part of what inspired me to speak out in the first place. So.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And it goes the same for me when Anonymous was making an international stand. And
they were the really first huge Never End category.
Yes.
And that is what I was talking about. I was just not limiting it to Anonymous because it's grown very broad since then. But yes.
And oh my gosh. And anyway, the work that Denver Steve-O, Marilyn, and all those have been doing is just so appreciated, you guys. It's just fantastic.
It is.
Then the next thing is that Claire, let's go back to the slides here. It'll be this one. Claire did an interview with Andrew Gold.
Yep.
And this was covering what there? Claire?
This was talking about my experience as testifying as an expert witness in the Danny Masterson trial.
I'm just reading the description. Claire Headley, ex-Scientologist who downed Danny Masterson.
I saw that.
Okay.
I love Andrew. Andrew, not shy with the descriptions there.
No, I saw that. That's why I kept it in the thumbnail. I loved it. That's great.
So crazy.
It was a great discussion, though. I realized after the fact, the one piece we forgot to talk about was the cringeworthy attempt by Scientology to undermine my testimony by naming my stepfather as the expert witness.
We knew.
Signed over guardianship of me when I was 16 years old. And
they did that just to be sleazy.
Yeah,
it was so sleazy.
As soon as his name was on their witness list, I told everybody. I mean, I knew 100%. I was like, that dude will never take the stand in a million years. Claire, I mean, if you put him and Claire in a room and they had to debate each other, I mean, I don't think they realize, like when you go to the top of Scientology management, you are an expert in literally verbally destroying somebody. Like just in terms of your thought process and how,
with a smile on your face. No less.
Without even cracking a smile, you're trained. Amy, you know this is true. You're trained. You are, the meaner you are, the more you'll get promoted. Like the more, I don't even know how to say it, because you could turn it on and then you can just go back to whatever you're doing, Yeah. Mm-hmm. But for her stepdad or ex-stepdad or whatever you want to call it, he is he's literally like a fuddy-duddy, like do like there's anyway. I knew he would never.
Yeah. There was no way.
And not to mention the fact, I love how OSA completely destroyed our family. They did that when we escaped in 2005, and now in 2023, they expect to still have some kind of leverage, impact, control, or anything. I mean, what world, what universe do they live in? It's insanity.
They didn't even have him show up at the courthouse at all, right?
No, they did not.
Yeah, they just announced.
Honestly, if they would have, I can't say I would have noticed.
Oh God.
Well, that's
just to be honest.
Well, that's the funny thing, and also just to people watching this video, like you think Claire, oh yeah, she's just she does great interviews and she's a very good listener and all that. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. But if she wants to be the most evil person that you've ever met, that's not like a process. That's a split second switch over. Okay.
I don't know about that.
No, I'm positive that you could, like, mentally, I don't think that Hugh could compare in a lifetime to the being quick and also just being factual. They like to get into the blame game and the name calling and the attacking, and if just spitting facts, it would just be no competition. So it was obviously some sort of mental game, which like Claire said, it's like we haven't talked to these people in 18 years. Has it been 18 years now, babe?
Yeah.
18 years. We haven't spoken to these people in 18 years. So you think that putting him on the witness stand, when also Claire knows he doesn't know anything compared to her in terms of what goes on in Scientology. He's
really
been educated.
Shows how lame they are.
Yeah, he's been educated to like level 1, and she's like 77, and like they're gonna battle of the facts.
Yeah,
don't think so.
He signed over when he signed over guardianship of me, so I could go to the headquarters. As we all know, but for the sake of the audience, he didn't even know where that base was physically located. That was confidential information. So I was working in a location for 14 years, and he had no idea even physically where I was.
Right.
So,
yeah. That was just lame. Beyond the beyond. Wow.
Yeah. But it was a fun conversation with Andrew Gold.
Yeah.
So
that was a good interview, Claire. That was really good. Here's another interview you did this week. This is with Hannah Eltringham. That was fascinating.
Right.
You know what? I learned something here.
Yep.
L. Ron Hubbard's favorite drink was rum and Coke.
Yes.
I was like, are you kidding
favorite on
me?
the rum side? 80% rum, 20% Coke.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you kidding? I mean, how many years did we go without having one drink whatsoever? And here's L. Ron Hubbard.
Yeah.
But you know, it makes sense, Amy, because have you ever put, when I went to school, we would put a tooth, like if you'd lost a tooth, you put it in a cup and you just fill the cup up with Coke, and then you check it in a week, and you know what? Yeah, it's not. There's no tooth there in a week. Yeah. So can you imagine that old fuddy-duddy just drinking all that Coke and all that rum? And
so
you
maybe
know
that's what happened to his teeth.
Well, he was allergic to dentists, so he was just getting rot in his teeth, and no one was ever fixing them. So.
Yeah.
It's funny that he said that Hubbard said the reason your eyes go bad is because you've committed crimes, but yet there was no reason ever given as to why your teeth go bad.
I think it's when you talk too much shit is when your teeth turn to shit.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, we're already starting. I wore waterproof mascara today because I knew this is going to be funny. Okay.
I love to torment Amy whenever we meet up. I just try to throw in an extra thing here and there because I know I'm going to get it.
It doesn't take much because you just crack me up. You like hit my funny bone. So the next slide. Well, anyway, so that I guess was part one with Hannah, and then you're going to be doing a follow-up, right? Because she's got a long history, and I'd love to hear about all the work that she did about helping people get out of Scientology.
I know, that's what I told her. I said, Hannah, you're the old guard, the pre-Aftermath Foundation person. And she's already been sending me some amazing books to read. And she's still doing it to this day. Like,
I didn't realize.
Yes.
Good.
No,
Wow.
she is like helping people actively. And that's why I was like, I'm so inspired because, it really does take a special person to, first of all, live through all of that. I'm not negating anybody's experience. Nope. But then to go to the next step, let me expose them. And then to go to the next step, even after that, and go, I care enough to help people get out of that. And not only to just speak out against it, but to help people get out. And we need so much more of that because, the walls are crumbling. I don't know what else to say.
Yes. And anyone
really
who's watching and the walls are crumbling around you, we are here.
Yes. So completely.
On each of our YouTube channels, it gives you contact links and everything like that. And people are contacting us. Yeah. So it's just not something that we talk about every day, but it does happen for sure.
Yeah. Like one example, I would love to see replicated what Jefferson Hawkins is doing in where he lives in Portland, Oregon, right? Where he's started this support group. And I think it's just amazing because people really do, like, I don't know, personally, I feel, yes, there's just such therapy in talking with people who understand and who do not judge you for walking away. And then in the case of Marc and I, there's also true therapy in just shutting it off every once in a while. Like, let's not say the word Scientology for a week. Whoever says it first gets to put $1 in the dollar jar.
Yes.
You guys probably have that maybe.
Well, we have a thing on the Scientology words because it's just so funny. Some of them, they just roll off. There's certain ones that are so hard to get rid of.
Yes.
Like he calls people terminals.
Terminals? Oh, that's true. Like, I need to find a terminal over down at the lumber yard.
Who's your terminal there?
Yeah, who's your terminal there? Every once in a while, I'll tell Claire, like, something will happen or something won't go the way I wanted it. And I'll be like, might be some evil purposes there.
Or he'll be like, you have CIs.
Yes, CIs.
Which is a play on CI, counter intention. And for everyone listening who we've completely lost, if you have counter intention, you're against command intention, which is what you're trying to get done. And if you're not getting it done, it's because you have counter intention against that.
Yeah,
Yes,
but the
and so it's
foreigners,
CI.
yeah, but the foreigners would say CIs because it's literally counter intentions. And instead of just saying you're CI, they would say you have CIs. And so that's what I would say to Claire. I would say, oh, CIs. And sometimes, what would they say? They would always mess up the sayings. Cake in
they
the
would say,
air.
I don't want to touch that. I don't want to touch that with a tin football.
Yeah,
Or roll up my arms and get to work.
yeah, roll up my arms and get to work.
Or
this is
another good one. The shit hit the vent.
yes, this is such cake in the air, and you're like, cake in the air, and they're like, yes, we're never going to get it done. You go, pie in the sky, please. And the best one was, this is we got to get fast like a bent leather from hell. And you're like, what did I say? What are they talking
We're
about?
going to hell for belt leather.
Yeah, we're going to hell for belt leather. And you're like, see, something is getting lost in translation here.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's see the next slide. So, this is good news. So, bombshell Scientology lawsuit accuses David Miscavige of covering up child sexual assault by top church leader. So, suck it.
Oh,
Ooh.
It's been going on for so long that I am so happy that this lawsuit has been called, because this is something that has been going on for a very, very long time, since the day I practically walked into Scientology, and probably before.
Yes.
In 1978, that was where they cover up sexual assault, and they keep it within, like, we handle our own, nothing goes to the police. So this is now a court case, and David Miscavige is specifically named in it, which is really good.
Yes.
Because
I was just going to say, so Mark and I were talking last week about the 5,000 spy files that we have, and there are more instances in there that we have isolated and sent to the appropriate people. Like, it's just horrific. I'm
going to do a video. Thank you, Mark, for sending those over that had my name in it.
yeah. I sent them to everyone in the files that I've come across so far. If I come across Amy Scobee, then I just search all the files for Amy Scobee, and then I put all of those files into a folder and then share it with the person. So I've shared probably 200-300 files already, just with individuals. Wow. Because you guys actually you might have more files than Claire and I. I think there was a lot. You had a lot, actually.
Well, I thank you for the work that you're doing to get that made known to the different people. And I just got to say, Scientology, your OSA files are in our hands, and they aren't good.
They're not good at all.
Yeah.
Wow.
We were like, whoa.
Did you go through them? Did you go through them? Isn't it crazy?
Yes.
Like a program.
Yeah.
A program on how to ruin someone's life. Like almost
totally
all these people had programs, step by step. This is how we're going to get you fired at your job. This is how we're going to spread rumors about to your neighbors. This is how we're going to, just all made up. This is what we're going to do. This is our plan. And this is it, step by step. And these are who the targets are assigned to. And, you're just like, this is insane.
And this is how we're going to use our top celebrities to destroy this person utterly. Like John Travolta, Tom Cruise, it's horrific. And to quote Denver Steve-O, this smells like poo.
Yeah.
That's what these documents show. It's
really
so
does.
bad.
It's going to be really good to continue to expose it, And then plus, it was during the years where I was like an angel, and they had all this stuff going on. I was just saying hi to people. I wasn't even, acting up really.
None of us had written books. None of us. We were telling each other stories. We weren't even. Well, I mean, I was posting stuff on the internet,
and so were we, just undercover.
But almost all the files are talking about, oh, they went to this party, and then they went to Outback, and then they went to this place, and they had pictures.
Who they're talking to.
Wasn't it crazy when they had the pictures and the maps?
Those are all the pictures I took. I took those pictures. And because I had shared them with people, and one of them who was there, Wolfie, was the spy, so he turned them into Scientology, and then they had all these, here's our confidence, I was like looking at these pictures going, oh God, that came from my camera.
Does that qualify as a type of terrorism when you're like actually, going after people's livelihood and their families and their,
I don't know about terrorism, but I do know that you can't use nonprofit funds to destroy people. I don't know what law that is, but I'm pretty sure if you're getting subsidized by the people and the government and not paying taxes and all that, you can't spend that money to try to destroy that. That doesn't qualify with like public benefit.
Yeah. And when they have a program that says their purpose in these activities is to destroy that person utterly, they have removed plausible deniability completely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So you can't say, oh, I didn't know that was going to happen. Oh no, you did. In fact, that was your goal. That's what you were. That's what you wrote that you were aiming for.
Yeah, I really wonder what the OSA programs looked like after we spoke out publicly. Because
oh my gosh,
because then the crap was really hitting the fan or the air vent or what.
Yeah, hitting the vent. Yeah, no
yes,
joke. Totally.
Okay, so then the next thing we're still on the weekly review here is an excellent article by journalist Yashar Ali.
Yes.
Exclusive, Shelley Miscavige and the Missing Scientologists, How the LAPD Made Scientology's Problem Go Away. And I thought this was really fascinating.
It was. And can I just insert for a moment and say that DMV picture of Shelley 100% looks like a prisoner of war photo to me.
Yeah, it absolutely is. We're just fixing where Arby's chewing his bone.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Because it's on the fence, and so it's making tons of noise.
Yeah, that picture. Aaron was even asking, her nose looks like it's crooked in the DMV photo compared to all of the other photos of her. Like her nose,
I'll have to take
her
a look
nose
at that.
Might be pushed over a little bit or something.
I mean, that.
He posted a bunch of pictures next to each other. It's hard to tell, but I don't know.
Yeah. I have a bunch that I just received that are the same, like over the years comparison. I'll have to look at those more closely.
I mean, you can tell that she is not happy.
No, and she's a shell of her former self.
Yes, total shell.
Wardrobe
malfunction. What would you do without your wife?
Oh my gosh. Are you guys sharing one set or you have two sets?
We're sharing one earphone.
I'm gonna give you a splitter, Matt, when you
we have to.
Wow, Amy's going next level.
I know.
She's inserting the earbuds.
I know.
We have a splitter, except he doesn't know how to put on his earphones. And anything audio visual is just a challenge.
It's all good.
In our house, it's the opposite. I've become pretty good. Nowhere close to Marc, but my incentive is I don't want to know. I don't know that I want to ask for help. I'd much rather figure it out myself if I can. But every once in a while, like this morning, Marc just went through a lot of work for which I'm incredibly grateful to switch my computer over to a new computer.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I might have an electronic file hoarding issue. Maybe.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. She had like 4 terabytes of files. I was like, I can't set up a new computer. We got to get rid of. We got to put all these somewhere.
Yeah. So he was very patient in working through all of that. But this morning when I came down to my office, one of my screens wasn't working, and I was like, Oh no, after Marc just spent 20 hours getting this computer set up, so I figured it out on my own. I was like, yay me.
Did you turn it on? Is that what figured it out?
Nope.
I love how your picture quality actually has seemed to be better since we did all that. I don't think it's ever gone bad, or not bad as it was before. So,
yep.
Awesome.
Yes.
Okay.
Good enough.
We got 1,000 people in here now.
Yay! Thanks to everybody for joining us. Oh, and hey, another weekend review item is our channel Blown for Good just hit 35,000 subscribers.
Wow.
Yay. Good.
I got to go look at that now. I got to see.
That is really good. And while we're saying that, we might as well go to the banners here and go, let's see. I have this one. Please like and subscribe to both of our YouTube channels at Who is Amy Scobee and at Blown for Good. Thank you. We love our amazing SBTV community.
We really do.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
So the next thing in the weekend review was Mitch Brisker, former director of at Golden Era Studios, is spoke out for the very first time. That is not the slide I wanted, but that's okay. And he was on with Janice and Marc, and that was the first time that he had spoken out since leaving. And so that was very interesting. Marc, you know him very well. I know him too.
I do, yeah. I mean, I worked with Mitch for many, many years. He also did an interview on Aaron's channel. I think he actually did a part 1 and a part 2 on Aaron's channel that are really good too. But yeah, I've got a big project coming up, as you guys know. So probably I talked to Mitch the other day, and we're planning to do something when I get back from this next project that I'm working on, and we're definitely going to tell some old filming and adventures and working with celebrities and whatever we can whip up, we'll figure it out when, because I mean, I worked with Mitch probably for about a decade, from about 1995 to 2005. So yeah, about a decade. I was either working directly with him on the film crew, or I was the pre-production director or the producer, some other post that dealt with that cinematography division.
Yeah, that's amazing. So that is really good. I look forward to seeing that video, that's for sure. Yes. And so then the next one is, this is the Coachman right across from the Sandcastle in Clearwater. Wow. And so it has opened today. They're going to have a grand opening event still coming up, but it was opened.
Wow, Coachman Park.
Yes, right across from the Sandcastle. So I hope they have huge, loud concerts. I hope there's 1 million people that just fill the streets there. Oh yeah, their whole plan to build a whole new Sandcastle complex. Did you see that got all bungled up too? I didn't see that.
Oh yeah, they were secretly trying to do a new development deal up the street. Yeah, and they got caught, and their guy was outed. So they've got nothing. That Sandcastle is a giant. What do they call it? Just a big albatross now. There's nothing. Well, because
they can't use it.
Yeah, they can't. You can't even do sessions if like an ambulance goes by, much less there's a concert across the street.
Yeah. Oh boy, I was wondering about that.
I hope
that's interesting.
I hope Clearwater has like a heavy metal fest or something over the weekend.
Yeah, that would be so amazing. Don't we have pictures of Bobble Mike at that location?
Oh, I think so.
People have probably sent in. You're right. I think somebody did send in.
Hold on. Let's see. 1 second. I
don't know that you have them. Do you have them?
Hold on. I'm just checking something. 1 second.
Oh my goodness. Does she have pictures like that?
Amy's amazing this way.
Definitely got her.
He's at the park now.
Oh my goodness. That's awesome.
There we go. Yeah.
Like an overlay, Mike bobblehead overlay.
I do.
You gotta send that. How can you share? You gotta make it so you could share things.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, that was very cool. And then we're almost done here with the overview. And so the next one is a new website. This is awesome because a new website has been made, It's called protestscientology.com. And this is by Stephen, one of our wonderful SPTV community members. And he created a website where you can buy postcards that go to congressmen, and also Where's Shelley postcards to go to LAPD.
Wow.
And and so it was tested, and like 100 postcards were purchased right away because it's something that people can do right away.
Wow.
Yeah, and so now it's permanent. I just did a video on it. You should check out. Everyone should check out their website. So it's protestscientology.com, and it's got all of our pictures on there and links to our website, to our YouTube channels, and everything. And it can be expanded too. And there's also a lot of questions and answers, which are awesome as well.
Wow,
Wow.
that's
Tax
great.
exemption. Yes, so that was really wonderful.
Stephen, who did that?
I think it's Hammond is his last name.
Awesome.
Yep.
Very
Yep.
cool.
Yes.
I think I
And
saw an
then-
email about that, Claire. There's an email in the Bloom for Good email about that.
Okay.
Because
Yeah,
I had that site up on my computer today. I was like,
Oh.
look at this. I went through it. Looked
Yes, and it's something that people can do, and
It's like a few
contribute to.
bucks.
We
It's like
get-
a couple bucks, depending on what you want to do. It's just a couple.
Yeah.
Maybe I think it's like $3.99 or $4.99, depending on what you want to do or who you want to send stuff to.
Yeah.
And then you can click your representative or who you want the postcards to go to.
Yeah.
And you could select multiple ones, and then you just go, and then it sends them
Right.
a card.
You
So,
put in
Nice.
you put in your address, and your congressman automatically comes up.
yeah, there
and-
you go.
Nice.
And the other thing is, on my video where I describe this, in the comments, if you have any suggestions or whatever, Stephen is going through that and making any adjustments if you have any trouble with anything. So yeah, this is kind of being piloted, but it's successful, and it's going to be definitely something that everyone can contribute to.
Nice.
Yes.
I know there's a person that reached out to us a while back that had some really good input on that kind of thing. So I think I'll send this to that person for
Good.
any suggestions that they might have that would increase the efficacy of it.
Yes. Good. Do you want some help?
Sure.
Okay. So
Oh my
Basically running a doggy
Matt.
daycare here.
it's a
Sky-
date.
For those of you don't
What
know,
Amy's going to tell the audience is that now I need a second puppy that really handle this.
yeah,
Because
yeah, if Matt
one
would be able to
puppy
put his
didn't quite
headphones
do
on
it.
if they just had 17 more dogs.
Speaking of puppies, how's Kiwi doing?
Right under my feet. It should be on there, right?
Oh,
Over your ear. I can't see.
I don't know. It's close enough.
For those of
your
you who don't
ear, help
know,
me.
Matt can lift an oven up by himself. Okay, he can just pick it up by both sides and put it in the back of the truck.
Right here.
Okay,
True.
and
Oh my God.
but headphones, not bad,
Not so much.
The headphones are like.
he just enjoys having Amy manhandle
I was just
his
gonna
head,
say.
like,
I
Just
like
want
to play with
somebody-
my ears like that.
Yeah,
it's
it's
kinda
just
my thing.
to each their own.
No, they can do everything. When it comes to electronics, though, I swear.
somebody clip that video of her putting those on so Matt can just watch
Oh,
it in a
that's
loop.
that's good. Make a GIF out of, like sometimes his phone rings and he's like, handing it to me as if he doesn't know how to answer it.
Here, take this. I do. To be fair, I do that to Claire sometimes. Like when I'm in the middle of something and
No,
my
that's
phone
not
rings,
why.
I just give it to her. Like, here, just take this. Figure this out.
Exactly. That's what I do. So
Yeah.
Sort this out. over here. Somebody wants something from me. Just tell them I'm busy doing
busy.
nothing.
I'm busy. What's his
Yeah.
phone ringing?
Yeah.
Mark's
Tell-
like, I'm not a person that accepts phone calls.
I'll be like,
I have a
I'm busy.
secretary for that.
Yeah, she'll say, I'm busy. I'll say, I'm busy. And she's like, busy doing what? I'm like, busy not taking phone calls.
He says, I got to give it to my wife app. Oh, my God.
Yeah,
Okay.
instead of I have an app for that, Mark's like, I got a wife for that.
I got a wife for that.
That's exactly right. Oh, and then the very final last news was that it was Matt's birthday this week.
Oh my God. And you guys had a pool
yay.
party? Look at that. That looks like an old picture. Is that recent?
No, it was a couple years ago.
Oh, I was going to say. I was like, look at Amy's
One
hair.
or two years ago.
1 or 2
Nice.
or 20 years ago. That's how
Happy
I.
birthday, Matt.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
66 years old.
you. Yep.
Nice. Happy birthday. What did you
Yeah.
say?
66.
Oh my God, Matt, you qualify for you can get coffee at McDonald's for like 50 cents, I think.
They give it to me for free.
For free.
That's how old I am.
That's a senior discount. You walk in and it's there ready for you. They don't want you to strain asking questions.
Oh, that's awesome.
Funny.
Well, before we launch into the next, should we do our first giveaway now that we finished our weekend review?
Yes. Do we want to do, which one do you want to do? And I'll pull it up.
Let's in honor of Mike, let's do bobblehead giveaway first. There we go.
I love
Yay.
that. That's so fun. I don't know how Amy has all these cool things.
Holly, one of our community people, made that, and I gave it to Mike too. It's on his channel.
Oh, nice.
And we used it sometimes in our lives together.
I've been teaching her all this.
Oh, of course. That makes total sense.
Honey, I think we have that on the spshop.com.
The overlay?
Yeah, this
no, that's a GIF. If you just put that in, it doesn't do that. You have to make it for StreamYard. You have to make an overlay for StreamYard. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's all good. We can do it. We have other overlays. We just don't have a bobblehead. I just love it.
Well, I will email it to you because I have
Perfect.
it.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So who's going to do the countdown?
Mark, I nominate you.
Oh, okay. 5. I usually do a little bit of ramp up because some people are, they're on their phone or they're their iPad or they're on the Apple or they're watching it on Apple TV. So they got to go get a device. If you want to get a bobblehead, you got to tell us to bobble me. When I was watching one of those guys streaming, they're giving away Theta potatoes.
Oh,
wow.
Like it's a crocheted potato.
I love it.
And they're giving away onions as well. They have like a peeling the onion.
Peel.
So it's a crocheted onion. And so I just jumped in there. They were just doing something. And in the comments, it was saying, tater me. And I was like, what's going on? People are telling them to tater me. And then I was like, funny. And then I looked and they're like, oh, and we're going to pick somebody. I was like, oh, they're giving away a Theta potato. And people are saying tater me in the comments. I was like, for someone who doesn't know what's going on, they're crocheting onions and potatoes. And like, you'd think this is some sort of farmer channel or something. Okay. So that's enough time for everybody to get there in the comments. So 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Johnny Renda.
All right.
Johnny Reda. Johnny Reda. Bobble me, please.
All right.
Hi.
Johnny, you got it. Shoot me an email, claire@blownforgood.com with your address. And Mini Mike will be on his way to you tomorrow.
There you go. That was pretty
awesome.
seamless. Pretty seamless.
Yep.
Yes.
They really do have a lot of fun on these. They have the SPTV Never Ends, and they do like it's like a wrap up show. So whoever's live on Monday with Aaron, as soon as that's over, then they have a bunch of people and they just talk about what they talked about in the video that Aaron did. Mm-hmm. And they talk about that, and then they have different SP Never Ends from different come on. And it's real fun. It's they're giving away crochet things and all sorts of stuffed things, and it's wild. They're having a good time.
I spent some time watching, and I really, really enjoyed it. And I just love our whole community is just so fantastic. I just absolutely love it.
We did a live the other day, and I mentioned mystery sandwich. And
why is that a normal thing?
No, it's not. Well, there's mystery meat, which was a thing from World War II, I think it was, where like cheap meats would be combined with mayonnaise to make a really, really,
And that was called a mystery sandwich?
No, it was called mystery meat.
Oh, okay. Well, I know, but if you put mystery meat between 2 pieces of bread, isn't it now a mystery sandwich?
One could argue that would be a logical follow-on, but either way, my point being that by the end of the live, I had a design for a mystery sandwich shirt. It was kind of funny.
I love it.
Yeah, we gotta take it easy on the merch. We have so many merch things just because people keep sending us in new ideas, and they're all really great. So we're like, okay, we'll add it.
Yeah. We'll add it.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about making a list of different possibilities if I did one on my channel too. So it'll be fun. And then also I'll ask the community for ideas too.
Oh yeah,
what they would want. Yeah,
they'll design it. They're not
Oh
just
my
going to
God.
say this is what we want. They will send you the artwork for it. So all you have to do
my
is just
God.
upload it to the store, and it's merch.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, no,
That's
these people are.
Oh,
there's a
quick-
lot of talent in here in terms of
Yes,
crowdsourcing
haven't-
stuff.
Oh, I've noticed. Yes, very much so.
Quick comment. Johnny, send me your full address, please. Your email came through, but only the number came through. So please resend that. I'll respond.
Wow.
Oh,
Yes,
never mind.
Johnny.
He did it. I'm
Yeah.
good.
Take
Yeah.
it easy.
We're all
You get
we're all-
real time merch sending out. Like she's
That's
gonna
right.
get up and package up the bobblehead
No,
in the
I'm-
video.
I'm not going to
okay?
do that, but as I'm sitting here, I'm going to print the label
Yeah,
and
she's gonna do the whole
yeah.
thing. This is how she gets 17 people's worth of work done.
yes.
yeah.
Oh
no.
my gosh.
I know my day is a little bit like, I have a whole list of what I'm going to do, and then it's like squirrel.
Oh, that's so funny. Well, tonight we were going to talk about answering people's questions about did you ever have any fun times in the Sea Org? Now, people ask that question a lot. Was there
Yeah.
any good times or any fun times? And Matt and I were talking about it, because it's you don't want to just like type an answer. You want to like let's talk about this because it's kind of funny. And we were talking about different things that were fun when we were in the Sea Org, and we were laughing so hard. And I thought, this is a thing that me, you, Claire, Mark needs to be in on and talk about because some
That
of these
sounds
things-
amazing. I would love to tell some of those stories.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, Matt, you go ahead and start with your early period there.
I mean, the times that we had fun, it was always like short-lived and stuff like that, but they did happen in between everything else. I mean, there was a time at Gold when we had good statistics. Week ending, what we would do is take the whole crew, divide them in half, facing each other in the MCI in the restaurant, and have beer drinking races.
I heard about
Wow,
Yeah,
really?
Yeah. So you had to drink the beer, then get it down, then the next person grab their beer, get it down, and everybody's cheering and yelling, and the beer's coming out their nose, and people are throwing up. The place was going crazy. And we did that for a number of weeks where we had these beer drinking contests.
Like on
and races.
Friday night or Thursday or Friday nights or on Saturday or when? Just like
No,
after
it was
staff meeting or
After staff meeting.
Okay, so on
Wow.
Friday nights after staff meeting,
Yep.
just chug contests.
Yep. Bring
Now-
in the cases of beer and divide the whole crew up in half.
Tell me if this is true.
Yeah.
Olga was one of the best
Oh,
people.
yeah. Oh, yeah. That's true.
So there was a girl that worked for me in the pre-production department of Cine. Her name was Olga, and she was over the research department.
Olga
And I mean-
Einen, right?
Olga Enan,
Olga
yeah.
Ferris.
Olga
Yeah.
Einen,
Or
who
Olga
later
Ferris
was Olga
or-
Ferris, yeah.
But so I want to say she was in her 60s, maybe late 50s, 60s when I left. And if you could imagine this woman chugging beers and winning, supposedly she would win on many occasions. Like she could drink anyone under the table kind of thing.
She was German, right?
Well,
Something like that.
Olga
Yeah.
doesn't sound too anything else. I don't know.
Probably
Eastern
was.
I
European.
think she was German or Swiss German.
Yeah. something
Olga,
like that.
if I got it wrong, I'm sorry. It's been a while.
Yeah. Maybe ancestry. I think she was born in the United States, but
Okay.
she might have had some German ancestry. In
Yeah,
there.
she was short, stout, well built.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And
Yep.
she could drink. And
That's
and
crazy.
when do you think that was in the 80s, right, Matt?
Yeah.
When do you think was there like a clean cut like those days are over? Was it when Dave showed up or when what cuz it's
Or was it when Hubbard died?
You know, when they started worrying about Hubbard coming back and everybody wants Psycho on the base to
yeah.
run the RPF to the ground and 24/7 and all that. There was no more playtime. I
Yeah.
mean, before that, we used to have like extended lunch periods where we would go to the pool and we'd have the volleyball net set up and we'd be playing volleyball every day in the
Water
pool.
volleyball?
Yeah, water volleyball. And then
At the
girls would go out.
At the Star California
Yes.
pool?
Yes, and the girls every day at lunchtime we had extended lunch, and the girls were out there sunbathing. And
oh my goodness, you have got to be kidding me. I think I went in that pool like once or twice in 15 years.
Apparently, we just joined the Sea Org in the wrong decade.
I guess so, man. Chugging beers, having pool parties at lunchtime.
Oh,
I mean, the first bosun's party, you know, when we first got there, this was Christmas of '78. And we still had a full bar set up from the restaurant, and we had the whole wine cellar down below. And we took all this wine and liquor and stuff into the, what the heck was that little building called?
The tavern.
The tavern.
Yeah.
Oh, everybody's dressed up like pirates and all this kind of stuff. We went crazy in that place. I mean, the floor was covered with alcohol. We were sliding in it and stuff. It was just people up in the rafters. I mean, that's when we had real parties, real bosun parties back then.
I guess so.
yeah.
And what was the thing?
How many people were in the base then? It was like a couple hundred people.
For that Christmas party, there was maybe 25 people on the whole base.
What?
Wow.
Oh, because that was in '78 when they just had the property. It was
right.
new.
We just had the property. We only got there like in the beginning of November, so we only had been there for a few weeks.
So there wasn't that many people back then either. So you were guys are kind of like your own little club. There was nobody. Nobody. It was just a brand new property. It's getting set up. It's like no one's watching anything that's going on.
Yeah,
here.
there was probably 20 people at the party. It just went crazy.
You were out of sight, out of mind, kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
Wow, that's so wild to think that, because when we were there, it was probably, I think at the height, it was probably 800 people, maybe 800.
I would say
1,000. It was always almost 1,000, but maybe close to that. But then think that there was 25 on that whole place, 25 people.
That's amazing.
It's giant.
Acres.
It's like a small,
acres,
yeah.
Though some of that is hill, but it's a big property.
Technically, you could blow and just stay on the property and nobody would be able to find you then.
Yeah, when somebody blew, we had to go search the property to make sure they didn't fall in a well or something,
That's true. I remember, do you remember a guy named Jacques Boucher, Matt? French guy, little skinny. He used to be an Olympic gymnast.
Okay.
And he went to sleep, and there was a room by the Studio One, by the Ella Ron Hubbard Music Studio.
Yeah.
There was a room there called the Battery Room, and it just had backup batteries for the studio in it. Yeah. And it was just an air-conditioned, really cold room that had concrete floors. Jacques Boucher went in there to take a nap. We had done 10 all-nighters or something, and he couldn't do it anymore. He had to go lay down. He went and laid on the concrete floor in the winter. Wow. And he went into like a semi-coma.
Oh, wow.
And he was in there for 3 days asleep on the concrete. And when they found him, he was unconscious, but they couldn't wake him up. Wow. And they put him in I think they put him in a bathtub. Like a warm.
They didn't get him to the hospital?
Oh no. I mean, what are you going to do?
Of course they didn't call 911.
How are you going to explain? We found this dude sleeping on the cold concrete for 3 days. But they thought he had blown.
Oh,
so there was a blow. The way I heard it was there was a blow drill.
Right.
And then somebody doing something like like when you got to get rid of something, but you got nowhere to put it. This was one of those places you'd be like, I got to hide this somewhere. I'm going to go hide it in the battery room. And somebody opened the that guy that blew, he's sleeping in this room here, guys. He's sleeping on the floor in here. And they couldn't get him up. They couldn't wake him up.
And I tell you, in the middle of the winter one year, I went into a high voltage room to get some sleep. Slept straight on the concrete in the middle of the winter. I was crying. I was shaking so bad, and I'd been up for days, and I just went and hid so I could actually sleep. And I swear, it was torture. Nobody found me.
How did we get onto this from the fun stories? I thought we were doing the fun stories.
That was so fun.
And all these stories come to mind, but I didn't want to get into them because we were going to head off into the sunset here.
Oh my goodness! But so you could literally just go hide somewhere at that property, and it was so big that people might not find you for days, and then you just show up, and it's like, where were you? And be like, I just took a nap, and be like, you took a nap. You left and said, I'm taking a nap 4 days ago. Where have you been? Guess I slept for 4 days, huh?
Yeah, Amy, Mark, and I were talking the other day, and I was saying, sometimes I would, if I'd been up for 4 days, in a row, I would be so exhausted that I would just put the in session sign on my auditing room and sleep on the floor for 2 hours. But I was really worried that I would like never wake up. You know, be like Rip Van Winkle, wake up 100 years later and you come out and it's like, what happened?
All the places that I slept. I mean, when we were on the decks all the time, I mean, we slept in the garage. Just if you found pieces of concrete just look so comfortable when you're up for days and days and days. It doesn't matter, man. I was in the garage, and just if you find anything soft at all, you lay on it to get
I'll tell one story. I woke up on a public bus in their parking lot in the nighttime. The bus driver didn't wake me up. Nobody woke me up. I was in the back seat. I went unconscious, and I was gone.
Where?
In Clearwater. We were doing
you just got on the bus to take a nap. Like, I got to get out of here.
I would go down to Clearwater Beach and in my construction clothes and crawl underneath the boardwalk pier. And I'd just sleep right there in the sand. But people keep waking me up thinking I was like, some drug addict that was ODing or something. But many times that's where I went to sleep, where nobody could find me. I could just at least get a few hours sleep.
And then you went on the bus so long that it parked.
Yes.
Like it went to it was like routes are done. We're parking this thing, and nobody woke you up. You were just in the back of the bus, and then you had to hoof it back to the base from the bus station.
I didn't even know where I was.
He's like,
you got abducted. You wake up like, I've been taken.
He's down by US 91. Like, where am I?
Oh man,
that's so funny. Yeah. So I worked when I went there in 1990, I worked in the manufacturing division, and used to have next to where we made all the cassettes, there was a giant warehouse next door. That's where they kept, when you made the tapes, and then we box them up, we put them in, put 8 sets in a box, and then, put it on the shelf. And whenever we do these all-nighters, sometimes people be like, well, the master has to get made, and then it has to come down, and then they have to do the run, and then after the run's over, then I'll be able to check it. So I'm like, well, that's 2 hours. So I'm gonna go take a nap. And somebody's like, where are you gonna be? Like, I'll bring a little alarm clock with me, and in 2 hours I'll come back. And I would never tell them where I would be, because what I would do is on the shelves where we would put all the tapes, I would pull all the boxes out to the front of the shelf. And then I would just take one out and push it back, and then climb into the shelf where we kept the tapes, and then lay down on the flat shelf, and then push the box back in it. So if you were looking through the aisles, it just looked like a shelf full of boxes, but it was just like a prop. It was just empty boxes in the front.
That is so brilliant.
And that, I think that space lasted for about 5 years before they turned that into something else and moved the warehouse up to the 3rd floor of that building and did a bunch of other stuff. But then I had one up there on the 3rd floor, and that was like a go-to. And when I became an executive many, many years later, and I was doing an inspection in one of these areas, this was all new. They'd already, this was all now manufacturing and printers and all kinds of stuff there. But they did have a little storage shelf. And when I went there, I just saw just a tinge of a sleeping bag hanging out of one of the shelves, and I just thought to myself, still alive, man. The spot's still alive. Many years.
Lives on.
It's been 13 years, but there's a sleeping bag behind some boxes there. These guys know what time it is. It's good to go.
Marc, by the way, you can't forget to finish Jack Boucher's story. You didn't say what happened after that.
Oh, he woke up after they put him in the bathtub. I think after a few hours, he was like, hey, what's going on? He's like, you're in a bath. You're in a warm bath, you maniac, because you're not supposed to sleep on cold concrete. So essentially what happened is the concrete just drained his entire body of temperature. He just lowered his body temp so long. So he was essentially like frozen in his sleep.
Like he was in the equivalent of an induced coma by virtue of
his
cold
body
concrete.
Was just on the bare possible minimum.
Wow.
We had something like that happen with Paul Miller at Flag. Somebody sent him up to the roof, because he always kept falling asleep because he had that sleep apnea thing.
Yeah.
And nobody wasn't diagnosed. And so they just thought he was like sleeping on post because he had overts and, he was a bad guy and all this stuff. So somebody sent him as punishment up on one of the roofs here in Florida in the summertime to do, I don't know, some kind of manual chicken picking of pebbles.
Just whatever on the roof, yeah.
He fell asleep up there. They forgot about him. And when they found him, he was completely dehydrated. He was almost dead. And he was
just cooking in the sun.
Paul Miller, like the second highest registrar. I mean, he would make $350,000 a week. This guy almost died up on one of the roofs of the Fort Harrison.
Wow, that's crazy.
Like,
yeah, no,
we haven't seen him for a while.
Yeah. Well, that's how it was when I was in New York, right before I escaped. I want to say it was like September, October of 2004. And there was a kid that worked for me doing systems for a while. His name was Trevor. And Trevor had been up for days and days and days in Spain when they were opening the Ideal Org in Spain. And the audiovisual systems weren't done. And they, it's one of these things like the construction's going to finish. They're going to finish building the building about an hour before David Miscavige announces that it's done. And
Tom Cruise is going to that one too.
Yeah,
so there's extra pressure.
Yeah, but after they build it, then we would be able to install the AV systems. So I was like, why aren't the AV systems done? It's like, they're still building 3 of the film rooms. So I'm not sure how I can put the equipment there when there's not even a room. And so they would do these silly things like that. So this poor kid Trevor had been staying up all night and day. So then they were going to open the Ideal Org in New York. And so then it just all started. Like after 2 weeks in Spain, he didn't sleep for 2 weeks, sleeps all the way on the plane, then gets to New York. And it's like, okay, we're starting this. I'll start staying up all night and day. He went to sleep in the auditorium in the New York Org, the one that's right near Times Square. He went to sleep in the auditorium and he just went behind the curtains. Like they have these big curtains along the walls to, for an auditorium. And he just laid behind a curtain and went to sleep. But he slept for a whole day. So it's 24 hours. He was gone and no one could find him. And they had people out in Times Square looking. They thought he had blown. And then, 24 hours after whatever, how many hours, it might even have been like almost 2 full days that he was just missing. And he just literally gets up and's like, I gotta go to the bathroom.
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
and people were like, dude, where were you? He's like, I just went to take a nap. Yeah, for 2 days. So yeah, people, when Sea Org members find a place to sleep where they're not getting woken up, they're going to sleep for a while.
Yeah. I know. And people in the comments are like, wow. And these are the fun stories? Really?
Yeah, these are the fun.
Yeah, these are the fun stories, folks. You don't want to hear the bad stories. I know. It's all relative.
Getting 30 hours of sleep is the most fun you're going to have in the sea.
It's what we call relatively fun.
I got to tell one last sleep one. Me and Bill Dendo, we get sent to Portland for the Portland Crusade. We get sent by airplane to get things organized there before the RPF arrives by bus from Los Angeles. And we've been up for a couple of days and we're exhausted. And somebody gave us a car to use and a room at some hotel that had like apartment complex or hotel complex that had like 2 stories. And as we're getting out of the car, Bill knew which room it was and he took off. I don't even know what name it's under. And I'm looking around. It's the middle of the night and I don't know where he is. I'm looking around. And I'm exhausted, so pretty soon I'm like, forget it, I got to get to sleep. So I went into a maid's closet on the 2nd floor. I pulled some towels down and I laid on the floor amongst the carts. As the sun started to come up, this little Asian lady comes in, the maid. She sees me sleeping on the floor. She starts screaming bloody murder. I'm like, I gotta get out of there before this thing flaps. Scientologist found asleep in the maid's closet.
And of course, there's no cell phones. This is like 1984 or something, right?
No.
Was that when it was? That was in 84, right? Portland Crusade, 84.
I think it was, yeah.
Or 84.
84, 85.
85.
Yeah, I was gonna say 84.
No, it's 84. It was 84.
So I have to ask, did you have to confess that in a sec check?
No, I got away with it, so it was good.
Oh, that's
I wasn't going
amazing.
to bring that up. I would have got sent home. I probably would have got sent out of the sea.
Oh, I know.
For
I
real.
know. It's crazy. Oh my gosh, that's just insane. And for what? For sleeping? That's Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and I think
Flop,
that's the trouble that I got into when we were talking about that in another video, Claire, where I had gotten in trouble in LA.
Yeah.
And then you were just about to move. That is actually what I got in trouble for, was sleeping in my office.
Yeah.
Like late at night, I'd be like, I haven't been home in 4 days or 4 months or whatever it is. I'm going to take a cat nap in the back of my office from like 11 to 3. Yeah. And it was like, well, everybody else was when everybody else was up working and you were taking a cat nap in your office.
Yeah, they make us like you're a real
from
slacker.
1
like
to
you never
3
worked
a.m.
in your life.
It's just like,
How dare you?
Yeah.
I took a nap for 2 hours. Thanks. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, they did that to Mike so many times. Mike Rinder. Oh my goodness.
Dave would do a whole photo shoot when we'd be in meetings and we'd be talking, and then it would be like, okay, everybody go do your stuff. And then, 3-4 hours later, we had the meeting was at midnight. So now it's like 3-4 a.m. And Mike would be working on a script at a desk, and he'd just be, and we would walk through, and you'd be like, oh boy. And you'd see Jeff Baker, LRH's
Taking pictures.
photographer, shooting pictures of Mike Rinder sleeping. And then, of course, the next day we're at the meeting, and Dave Miscavige comes in, and he's like, oh, you guys want to know what happened last night? Okay. And then he just go, and he'd throw like 100 prints of Mike, different poses and angles and everything, Mike sleeping at his desk at 4 o'clock in the morning, and just be like, oh, this again. It was just nonstop. It was just, I think.
Of course, Miscavige is getting good night's sleep all the time and waking up, 11 o'clock in the morning or whatever.
Oh yeah, no, he'd bug out at like 3 or 4, and we wouldn't see him until 1 or 2 in the afternoon. So you're just like, oh, I get it. Yeah, we went home, shit showered and changed. It came right back at like 7, 8. Like you would literally be like, hey, we got to go because we got to get there and back before 8:30 at muster. So it'd be like at 7 o'clock, you'd be like, we got to go. Go take a shower, change your uniform, come back in and be standing there at muster. And then 2 o'clock, we'll have a meeting, and Dave will just roll in, all rested and primped and prepped, and you're just like,
and to be clear, the photos that Miscavige had of Mike Rinder sleeping, it's not because of random instances of him just happening to walk in and take a picture. He had somebody from Religious Technology Center watching Mike 24/7.
Yeah.
Staying with him the entire time. So every time, let's say he dozed off at 4 o'clock in the morning, click, got a picture.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Is that grapefruit or is that
mango.
Pineapple? Which one have we got there?
You
Mango.
Might as well get a rat. They're both running around
Mango.
here.
Oh my goodness.
That's
This
mango.
is mango.
Where's
Kiwi.
pomegranate? Is
Kiwi. Stop it, Mark.
that pomegranate? Get pomegranate on the phone.
It was.
Oh my gosh, he's a little puppy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
It
little
was
sweetie
It
pie.
was a SPTV contributor that said I should name the puppy Kiwi.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
look at them. They're so sweet.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
Now,
my
the same
goodness.
bone side by side. They just play all day long.
They do?
I
So
like
they're
how-
so they're good buddies.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
Complete
nice.
buddies.
I love
So
how
cute.
Mango tries to eat Kiwi's face. That's what our German
Yeah.
Shepherd does to our dog all the time. Like just puts her entire mouth over his face.
Yeah.
You're like, dude, stop it.
And the dog she's doing that to is bigger than she is. So you're like, he doesn't like that. You might find out the hard way.
All righty, that was fun.
Okay, doggy puppy break. Oh, we should do another giveaway, right?
Oh,
do we
boy.
do one at an hour?
Yeah, let's
Oh
get
no, we
3
do
more
one now.
puppies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do one now. Do
Yeah.
we want to do Blown for Good?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, no.
So everyone,
Yay.
Oh, I see.
this is for the book Blown for Good.
Look
and
at
so
you.
either Claire or Mark will pick it. Go ahead.
Mark, you do it because the link I'm on, I can't pick a. I can't.
I've never even shown my book on our channel.
Really?
I just realized I've never shown my book on my channel.
You're
never
right.
once. Never once. This is the first time I've been in a video where my book has been shown. Okay, so if you're on your Apple TV or your Kindle or whatever, and you don't able to comment, get to your phone. And
sorry, can I take it back? Can I pick the winner? I'll just call out the name.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, honey.
Literally,
Okay.
we just got done. You just got done telling us how you couldn't pick it, and
Well, I
now you're back to
know.
picking it.
I know, but then I remembered. Oh, I can say the name.
That's what I have to deal with, folks. You think it's just
I
like
can
in my
say-
head? It's not in my head. It's not in my head. I'm not crazy. This is what happened.
Okay. 5, 4. I just didn't want you to have all the fun.
Oh, my
5,
goodness.
4, 3, 2, 1, and I pick Amber Vaness.
Okay, what's the time?
I don't know how to see that. Sorry.
It's right next to the name, Amber.
Okay.
Oh, see, this is where we're gonna get it. It's Amber. Amber, just
Amber, shoot me an email, claire@blownforgood.com. Goldie, if you're there, we love you. Please ping. Please make sure Amber saw this, since I wasn't able to post up her name on the screen. But there you go.
Yeah, there you
Yes.
go. Claire at blownforgood.com. And this is people love these giveaways, I tell you.
Yes.
I think there's a lot of people just watching in case we might give them a book or something. That's all they want.
We might give a dog away pretty soon here.
Yeah. Yeah. You can
Hey, now, the thing is, how it's the community that helped me convince Matt that I needed a second dog, right? In order to give
Yes,
Mango,
I remember.
a playmate. Okay. So now he's saying, we're out to dinner with his two sisters because for his birthday, and one of his sisters has one dog, and he's like, "Oh, you got to have two dogs. You can't just have one dog." I'm like, now he's a complete campagner for that.
Well, it does help. It does help when they can entertain each other.
Yeah, totally.
Because, I mean, unless you our dogs are kind of lucky because Claire is at the house a lot of the time, and there's kids around, and there's always somebody around. But if we're not here for a few hours, they're completely content to just mess around and do whatever they do.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, exactly. They're right under my feet right now,
Wrestling.
wrestling.
Nice.
I want to show this, which is to order Marc's book. Visit blownforgood.com. That's for anyone who you didn't win the book. Sorry about that right now, but the book is available and you can get it at blownforgood.com. And then for my book, you can go to my website, which is scobee-publishing.com, or some people correct me, it should be Scobee hyphen publishing, publishing.com. And you can get my book there. But I will do a giveaway at the end of tonight as well.
Oh, you're going to give one of your books away?
Yes, I am.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's what we do every
fancy.
week.
Oh,
Yes, I
nice.
am.
Awesome.
So if you didn't win tonight and you would like another chance, then tune in next Wednesday for more giveaways.
Same time, same place.
Yes.
Same SPTV channel, same SPTV time.
Yes. So, okay, so now we are talking about fun times.
Oh, yeah.
We got some really funny ones.
People were expressing
this one.
their shock at what we considered fun.
Yeah, they're like,
Well, we do have some fun ones. We do have some fun ones.
the drinking was fun. I don't think
I just never got to drink, so I'm shocked that even happened at the base.
We
Yeah.
used to have wild parties back in the day, like the Boston parties at Flag and stuff were like real parties with liquor and stuff. And then
Tell me that the Bosun party is a Christmas. It's a Christmas party, and it's called a Bosun's party, and people would dress up as pirates for it.
Didn't it used to also be called the beer and cheese party?
Or
That
was
was a
Christmas?
separate. Like
that's
there
a
was a beer and
separate
cheese
one?
party
Oh.
and
Yeah.
a Bosun's party.
Oh, we
Yeah.
never had a bosun's party. If anything, during our years from 90 to 2005, it was a beer and cheese party. If we had anything, and
But But
Without the beer.
Beer and cheese. Just hold the beer.
Yeah.
I remember we had O'Doul's one year, and I was like, "Oh, come on, seriously, this is ridiculous."
But honey, didn't you in December 1991 at the beer and cheese party? There was a costume party, and you dressed up in full drag.
That's true. I dressed up, and I think I have a picture of it somewhere.
You do.
Oh, that would be
you do.
fun.
I do. It's me. I have a really long, curly blonde wig on.
Yeah.
I have a black and white patterned dress. I have lipstick. I have makeup.
Don't let Osa get a hold of that. It's going to be on the cover of some
well, no,
magazine.
No,
or
the
something.
way
No.
that I heard it, though, because I wasn't there, because I was visiting my family for 3 days, one of
Yeah.
the times. But the way I heard it is David Miscavige did a double take and was like, "Who's that?"
That's right. He really did. He was like, "Who's that?" And I was like, "Wouldn't you like to know?" And I had these big sunglasses on, and my face was literally. I was in the cine division for many years. So, but the makeup girls will just make you up. Like, "Hey, can you help me?" And they made you up. And I was wearing high heel. The whole thing. It was a Halloween. It was a Christmas party, but it was a costume. Everybody had to come in a costume, and there was going to be a contest to see if anybody could guess who it was. So I was playing foosball with the Invisible Man, which was Darius Wilhair, and he was completely wrapped from head to toe in ace bandages. So there was no way you could tell who it was unless you knew him. And he had sunglasses on, and I had sunglasses on. We were playing foosball, and David Miscavige walked up and said, "Who is it?" And Darius was like, he made some kind of noise, and then he goes, and then as soon as he did it, Dave goes, "Oh, hey, Darius." And then he goes, "Okay, who's that?" And that's when I said, "Wouldn't you like to know?" And then he was like, "Oh, is that how it's going to be?" And I was like, "Oh, shit, I want to get some." And he couldn't figure it out. He didn't know who it was. And then finally, and then I took off my glasses, and then he goes, "Oh, it's the new guy," or, something like that. It's Headley. And, yeah. And I think I even blew him a kiss too.
Oh,
like
yeah.
wouldn't you like to know?
That's totally.
I think that's the wet put. That was the maybe too much. Because wouldn't you like to know? Like that, and people were like looking at me like, "Oh, this boy's crazy." What was that?
You don't know him yet, right?
No. I mean, I got there in 1990, so I was kind of relatively like the new. Yeah. This guy has no clue this place is not the right place for him.
I mean, we were working on LRH's 5-car garage up there on the hill, and it was Christmas Day at the Int Base. And because it was Christmas and everything, I had a bottle of liquor, and I gave it to the guys to drink. And they're working up on the, the attic and stuff, and up in the rafters. One of them fell through the sheetrock. They got so drunk they fell through the freaking sheetrock. So I had to okay, give me back the bottle.
Yeah, you're like, enough of that for you guys.
Oh, great.
That's when you're working on an LRH space and you fall through the ceiling.
Oh, yeah.
The RPF is too drunk and falls through the ceiling.
Yeah, that's not a red flag. Yeah. I'm trying to think if we did have another party. I think it might have been the next year where they had this thing like we were going to have beers from different countries, and like there was going to be whatever beers, imported beers we could get. We would get as many countries, and I think Ken Hoden, he was the port captain at the time in the early 1990s, and he was telling us we're going to try to get 50 countries worth of beers here, and I had never really drank before. I mean, even in that time, I think I was 20 in 93. Was I 20? Yeah, I was 20. So I wasn't even of legal age yet. But no one's carding anybody. I don't even ever remember that being a thing. Like, it was just like, yeah, give me a beer. But I think I got to like 12 countries. So I would each time. That's how the goal was to go to as many countries as you can. So I think I was on. I think when I got to Australia and I got a Foster's kegger, I was like, I'm down for the count. And I am there's photographic evidence that I am a sleepy drunk. When I drink too much, you just need to put me somewhere off to the side for a while. And,
remember Saturday all hands renos? We used to have truckloads. There would be beer runs every Saturday during all hands renos.
That you would drink during building the buildings?
Totally. Somebody would come around and take your order, what you wanted. You give some money, get me a 6-pack of this, and people would go off and come back with a truckload of beer and then pass it out based on who paid for the beer.
Oh my!
That was every Saturday.
Goodness.
You'd be drunk and doing your renos.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, somebody says in the comments, where is it? Right here. Oh no. I have some Polish beer in my kitchen. Polish. No, this was the one I was looking for. You passed out in the street on your birthday, Mark. Yeah, I know that. That's what I'm referencing. Anyway, but I had to get something, and I don't remember what. Like somebody said, "Oh, we need this," and I was like, "Oh, I have it." Like, oh, they wanted to play some kind of somebody was saying, "Oh, we should play some Depeche Mode." It was like a big party in MCI. And I was like, "Oh, my CDs are at my house." And they're like, "Go get them." And so wherever I went to get them, I had to drive on the golf course because this must have been a little bit later because Claire was already in RTC at this time.
I remember this.
And so I said, "Oh, I got to go to the house real quick." Well, somebody's like, "Well, you can't drive, dude." And I'm like, "Well, I'm not going to go on the roads. I'll go through the back of the property and then I'll just go along the golf course. And I'll just, because the back of our house was faced the backyard was the golf course right there.
Yeah.
And so I was like, "Oh, I'll just drive my motorcycle because I'm just blitzed beyond. I've been to 12 countries halfway through Australia and I need to go get my CDs." Perfect. Sounds like a perfect scenario. And so I get to the house without any problems whatsoever. I get the CDs, and then I'm on the way back, and I'm on my Yamaha TW 200. And I'm driving around the golf course. Oh, and it was pitch black, so I couldn't see anything. And I hit a sand trap. I just went poof, and the bike just went stud. I was probably going 30 miles an hour, just complete stop. And the boys got smashed. That's what I'll tell you. Okay, I went so far forward on that tank, just woo! And
let's just say it's a miracle we have any children.
Oh my goodness! I get back on the bike. The bike and I'm in the sand, so I just go, and then I just go, oh, just fall over in the sand in the sand trap, and then it takes me about 15 minutes to be like, I don't know if I should even go back at this. I might just just walk it. Just leave my bike in the middle of this golf course in the sand trap. Just go back to my house. I'm just calling it. So I'm thinking it through. Like, no. If they open in the morning, because it was open to the public. If they open in the morning and my motorcycle's in the middle of the course, they're going to know I drove on the course. You're not supposed to drive anything on that.
They're going to start a massive police investigation for the dead body or the, who knows what.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, so I get back on the bike. I go back, I bring the CDs. Like I get there like an hour late. Like they're like, "Dude, the party's over, dude. Where'd you go?" And then we finish the party, whatever. We come home, and I take my pants off, and I tell you, it literally looked like somebody poured black paint from my knees all the way to my waist. It was just all black. Everything just black. I think it took like 3 weeks for those bruises to go away, and I was walking like a cowboy for like a week.
Oh, I'm sure.
Just like,
no.
and you know what? Sweetie over here, Ginger didn't ride a KR on me that time, even though I technically had an accident. She didn't ride a KR.
Because
I would learn later that was my freebie.
You didn't nearly kill yourself. I only had your best interests at heart.
Here we go.
Come on.
Here we go. Here we go.
We may as well talk about the rings too while we're at it.
Yeah, she sent the rings back to me in an envelope. Just wanted to put that out there. Got my motorcycle locked up by security.
Same old over here at the Headley household.
When we're coming back from Portland, we have a hired big bus with the RPF in it. We fill the front seats up to the ceiling with cases of beer.
All of Matt's stories have beer in them. You notice that? Every single story is beer.
Yeah.
And you know what? When we do stuff, never drinks beer.
Right. He likes beer.
When?
But I only have a drink. I maybe have couple of beers a year or something.
He doesn't ever drink. He's a Mr. Tea or water or something or whatever. Okay, keep going. So you're on the you're in.
We have all the beer piled up to the ceiling in the front seats of this bus. We have a ghetto blaster, and all the way back, not all the way back to LA because we went to sleep after a while, but we were taking turns dancing up and down the aisle of the bus and drinking and just having a great old time.
But this was in the Portland thing again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So to be fair, just so everybody knows, Matt is not just drinking full time. He was in the RPF, and you guys got to take a break to go do a whole, basically a vacation tour of Portland for several weeks. How long did that thing last? It was weeks, right?
I was probably there for at least 3 weeks, if not longer, because we stayed till the very end.
So even though there was lots of work to do, when it was a full-time party, because you weren't getting sec checked or whatever else when you get on the RPF, and you weren't having to clean dumpsters or clean the galley or build a building, or you're basically just building stages and hanging out with Chick Corea and Stanley Clark and
Edgar Winter.
Edgar Winter.
Right next to Ebers in this 4 or 5 star hotel.
Yeah,
we had TV. Yeah, it was we had a TV in the bathroom and a big marble tub, and it was we had a 4 or 5 star hotel room, and we would get in there. We had been sleeping on the floor for over a year. We get in there, and Dan dude runs and he jumps onto one of the beds and he goes, "Check out this mattress," right? And I laid on the carpet and I said, "No, check out this carpet."
That's this is way better than my concrete bed at home. That's hilarious.
He was, because they were doing PR, he got to live in the hotel, but I went to Portland too because I was in the RPF and we were sleeping on floors, and but it was still fun. I wrote it down as one of the things that was really fun. I was with Martin Reed, Mr. Electrical, because I was on the RPF. I was responsible for all electrical and electronics logistics for the massive studios and everything. So I was a very key logistics person, and so there we were buying miles of cable, and because we were having concerts in all kinds of different locations, so we were just running cables, and I was having to buy things left, right, and center there. We all had walkie talkies and stuff, but we weren't getting very much sleep, but it was really fun. It was actually a fun time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Got off the property.
Yeah. Speaking of Martin Reed, didn't he punch you in the face once, honey?
He never actually was able to get to me because I had bodyguards.
Oh.
Martin Reed. I want to tell a Portland story. You have to remind me to tell the Portland story, but
and
I will tell
a Martin Reed attack story too.
Yeah, I'll tell you the Martin Reed attempted homicide story first. So Martin Reed was married to a girl named Dana Reed for a while.
Dana.
Yes, Dana Houston, Dana Reed. And she was historically, whenever we'd have events, public events where people would come in from the city we put on some sort of mixer or Lions Club or whatever they would have. And she would be the person that would be the chief waitress or the chief server. And then she would recruit all these other girls to be waitresses. And then they would be the waitresses for this event. And every time one of these events would happen, a list would get printed out and say, this is the list of all the people's assignments for the event. And my assignment for the entire time I worked at Golden Era Productions or any place, any post, I was the one who ran the setups.
Right.
I would get all the chairs moved and all the tables broken down, and we'd set the whole place up and do a whole thing. anytime there was any event in MCI, I was the one who would run it. Even if I was busted the day before and David Miscavige just did a briefing on how I was the scumbag of the world, at the end of that briefing, I would be like, okay, set it up.
Yeah,
and I would
exactly. I was just going to say that, like, any person who ever worked at the Imp base that is listening to this can hear in their mind Marc going, set it up.
Anyway, and that was the best when David Miscavige spent an hour berating me about how I was the scum of the earth. When that briefing was all over, it was like, is he gonna do it? And I was like, set it up. And people started laughing. Like, of course, it doesn't even face him. He's the scum of the earth. David Miscavige just told everybody he's an asshole for an hour straight. And he's like, yeah, well, you guys still got to set this thing up, and I still got to make you do it. Anyway, the list came out, and instead of listed as the setup IC, I was in the waitresses. Okay, somebody cut and pasted, and they put me in the wrong place. Yeah. Anyway, it's on Saturday. The event's Saturday night. It's Saturday. It's noon or 12:30, 1 o'clock. I'm mixing concrete in the middle of the sun. And Dana Houston comes up to me and says, just want to confirm that you're going to be ready for waitressing at 7 o'clock tonight. Did you bring in your civvies? And I'm just like, what? And she's like, you're listed as a waitress for tonight. I'm looking around like, you know what I do. I set up MCI, honey. I'm not a waitress. And she pulls out the list and she's like, it's right here under the waitress. And I'm like, seriously, this is ridiculous. I'm not going to be a waitress. Okay. You're, somebody up at HQ there messed up when they made the list. Okay. I'm not, that's not my thing. Anyway, she was like, it's here. I'm in charge. You're under me. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. And so I'm mixing concrete. This whole time I'm like taking sand and putting it in the mixer and getting the lime, and I'm doing the whole thing. And she gets in my face. And as I move, she gets bumped and she falls into the sand. So just like, she's standing in the sand pile. She gets bumped and then she just sits down. She maybe fell a foot. She sat down in a pile of sand. And then she got up and she goes, you're in trouble, mister. And then she's like, you pushed me in the sand. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, go. Anyway.
She was a bulldoggy kind of person.
Somebody in the comments is like, it's server, Marc, server. No, it said waitress. Okay, that's part of this story. Okay, the list said waitresses, Marc Headley. Okay, anyway, so I think nothing of it. I'm like, obviously, I'm gonna mix some concrete, and when this is done, I'm gonna go, and I'm not gonna do any of that. So that's it. Anyway, somebody comes up to me about an hour later while I'm mixing concrete. We're building a stone veneer wall by the dentist office. What used to be across from the Horwich house, that little. Yeah. Okay, so we're building a stone veneer brick wall, like a block wall there, and then we're going to stone veneer it. And somebody comes up and he goes, Marc, you got to hide. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, Martin Reed is coming to kill you. And I'm like, Martin? He's like, yeah, he heard you punched his wife out and he's coming. And I was like, what? I was like, what are you talking about? And then as they're explaining this to me, a bunch of people are running towards me. And one of them is Gerald Duncan, who's famously not in my camp. And this other MAA, his name was Salvatore Mayo. He was kind of like an MAA.
Short little guy.
An MAA is an ethics officer, the person who's responsible
Master at Arms.
Yeah, Master at Arms.
Keeping discipline in.
So you've got Gerald Duncan, who's the director of inspections and reports, and he's like the head of the police of the property. And then he has one of his police officers. And they come and they're like, what happened? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. And like, supposedly Martin Reed is planning to kill you. And I'm just like, yeah, I don't know why. He's like, did you beat up Dana or something? I said, no, she's trying to get me to be a waitress. And I told her to F off. And She sat in the sand and then she walked away. I was like, I don't want to, I'm building a wall here. I don't know anything about any of this. Anyway, and so right as I'm telling him this, we see Martin Reed running 1,000 miles an hour.
Oh my God, this guy.
Like he's like been drugged and he's been programmed.
That's how he is.
And he's not slowing down at all. He's just coming and coming and coming and coming. And Salvatore Mayo and Gerald.
He was like,
yeah, oh yeah, no, he was on a mission. He was
if
on
there's anybody in the Sea Org that would actually kill somebody for bumping their wife, it would be him.
It would be
him.
him.
Yeah. And so he came and he barreled into them and they're rolling all over the ground and people are grabbing him. It took like 4 guys to carry him the whole time, kicking and screaming, I will kill you. And I was just like, whoa. And I'm just mixing concrete. I'm just like, this is wild, man. Anyway, and so then
waitress outfit, right?
Oh yeah, no, that was the last thing. So then we all had to go get, after you do renos, you go home, you get shit shower change, you change into your civvies, your civilian clothes, and then you come in. Well, that event had to get set up. I set up the event, and then they're like, okay, you need to go back to your post, but Salvatore and Gerald have to come with you. And for 2 days, Salvatore just sat behind my desk in a chair, and just in case Martin came over.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is so crazy. And in the end, I think Martin was the one that they were like, dude, you gotta take it easy, And and they were like, Mark, what's going on? I'm just like, I ain't being a waitress. I mean, that's just not gonna happen. That's a ton. I didn't mean to cause all this trouble.
I was a waitress at that same event, by the way.
Anyway, Martin Reed. Woohoo!
Oh yeah, I worked with him in the same office for like a year. I was his logistics person, so if anything went wrong, he just had the most. He just had the most explosive.
Yeah, his temper started at 1, then 7,000, then 25,000, and
that's exactly right.
That was the scale. So like, even if he kind of started to lose it, if you weren't like, whoa, if you were like, what's wrong with you? Then it would go like,
oh yeah,
it was out.
I had to learn. I mean, he kicked holes through doors and walls, and he threw things at me, and he all kinds of different things,
Well, that was the other crazy thing, is that I don't know actually like the truth behind this. And Martin and Dana got divorced and went their separate ways, but there was like a lot of explosive conversations that would happen between them, like to the point where it would be like they would have to be separated. And it was always like this drama.
It was similar to him.
Yeah, because it was just like she would go crazy and he'd go, and then the two of them together, it was just like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
But okay, let me tell you my Portland story, because I was at Portland. But when Portland happened, I was only 11 years old. Okay.
Wow. Oh.
And we were told, my dad was in a band, and the band, Thad Correa was the drummer of that band. Mm-hmm. So it was him and this other guy named Steve and another guy named Greg. And it was like, hey, you guys have to come and be one of the bands that are going to play and up in the Portland Crusade. And we'll pay for everything. We'll get you there. We'll put you in a hotel. We'll do all that. But you gotta be like the backup band for Edgar Winter or Chick Corea or whatever. You guys are just going to be jamming up there as much as we can have you do it. And so my dad was like, well, I can't leave my son here in Hollywood. And they were like, oh, he can come. We'll put him to work. We'll do a job, or we'll have him do something. And it's like, and then they were like, trust me, he'll be with somebody the whole time when we're there. And I was like, okay. And they were like, do you want to go? And I was like, sounds like fun. So we go up on one of those buses. We get up there. And then as soon as we get there, I don't see my dad. Like, he's like, okay, you're going to go do this. And they say, okay, and I'm in the I think there was a CC Portland.
Yeah. That's where we were based out of.
Yeah. So there's a Celebrity Center in Portland. And they said, you're going to go over to Celebrity Center Portland, and they have a perfect job for you. And so I was like, okay, fine. So I go where they tell me. I'm 11 years old. I'm just walking around downtown Portland at 11, They tell me the address, and there's no phones, there's no nothing. I have no way to get a hold of my father. He has no way to get a hold of me.
Oh my God.
And I find this place, and the only reason I found it is because I saw somebody like wearing some kind of Sea Organization uniform or something, and I was like, oh, and then I just followed that person, and they went to the same address. I was like, okay, I'm good. And then so I get to the address, and they say, okay, you're going to be the celebrity communicator.
Oh, God.
And I'm kind of like, okay. And they're like, because there's nothing really else that I can do except for like work a radio, a walkie-talkie. So they said, you're going to sit in this town car with this driver. They just hired a town car with a driver. And they said, you're going to sit in the front seat, and we're going to tell you, okay, go pick this person up from this place. And then you're going to tell the driver, and then you're going to go, and you're just going to sit with him in the car. And that's it. Yeah. And you're going to have all these snacks and drinks and a cooler. And so whoever you pick up, you're going to offer those to the person. And like, would you like something? And I'm just like, oh, this is, even at 11, I knew like, this seems pretty hokey to me. Like, you got just a random driver dude. You got an 11-year-old kid wearing the same outfit for weeks. I'm like, it wasn't like I brought a suitcase. I had like a backpack with like maybe something, a sock and an underwear in there. And that's it. I'm here we're going to be here, 3 days? Oh no, we were there for 3 weeks. Anyway, I'm sitting in the front of this town car. We're picking up John Travolta. We're picking up Chick Corea. We're picking them up from here, taking them there, doing all this. And I'm just in the front seat offering people Cokes and crackers and shit. You know, like, would you like a beverage, sir? But that's literally what I did for probably 2 of the weeks we were there, because there was only, the celebrity thing, that train didn't last the whole time. It was like, I think at the very beginning there was a bunch, and at that big concert that we did in that park. Yeah,
grand finale. There was that. Edgar Winter and everybody.
Yeah, when that was, and Al Jarreau called on the phone and did the
racetrack.
We did all
Al Jarreau. No, Al Jarreau there? I think Al Jarreau.
No. I think it was on the phone.
Oh no, Stevie Wonder called.
Oh, Stevie Wonder. Right. Yeah.
And he played I Just Called to Say I Love You. He played it on the phone. While they were in the middle of the concert. And that's actually where I got the idea to play a Depeche Mode song on the phone, was from Stevie Wonder. But anyway, Stevie Wonder called in when Chick and whoever were doing something. And there was a week in there though, like where I think there was even a time where all the celebrity stuff had died down. It was like, okay, you're going to go help, give out snacks near the stage or something. And I loved it because I was just like full-time snacking, So I was like, this is the best.
Somebody asked if you licked any of those crackers.
Oh, no. But I drank a soda or 700 during that 3-week period, because my parents weren't loaded. So it wasn't like I had access to unlimited soda and snacks. So it was like, it was one of those don't eat all of your profit kind of businesses. But I wasn't paying for anything. So I was like, whatever.
Nor were you being paid, right?
Yeah, and I wasn't getting paid for this.
No.
But I was giving out snacks. And it started getting later and later. And then I got tired. And when I get tired, I find a place to get horizontal there. And I just went right under the stage. They were playing on the stage. I just went under the stage and went to sleep. And when I woke up the next day, there was nobody there. The stage was gone.
Wow. So you're just in the field?
I was in the middle of the park, in the grass.
Oh my God.
Asleep.
Oh my God.
And there was nothing there. And I thought, they broke this stage down around me? Like
that was huge too.
Yeah, I was like, how is that even possible? Like, nobody thought, like, maybe wake him up? Like, there was people watching a concert, and I went to sleep under a stage, and the next day when I woke up, everything was gone. And I thought to myself, well, thanks a lot, guys. And that park was not near the other park that we were set up.
No.
And so I was like, and this is the one right on the river.
How in
that big park right on the bank of the river. And I think it took me like a half an hour to figure out where I was and how to get back to that other place, because I was, again, I was 11 and I was being driven around in the car the most of the time. So I wasn't paying it. You know, when you're a kid, you're not paying attention to like what street's this and what street's this.
No.
You're just going for a ride.
And especially
Anyway.
it's not like you lived there.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. And also, hadn't seen my dad for maybe a week or so.
Oh my goodness.
And every once in a while, I think we'd meet up or something. And, you know, I don't actually remember where I slept any time that I was there, except for the time that I fell asleep under the stage. I don't ever remember. Did we camp in the parks when we were there?
A lot of people slept in the CC on the floors.
They
So-
laid them out like sardines. Like
Yeah.
it would be head to head in a road, side by
Yeah.
side, and then there'd be enough room, feet to feet, to walk through, and then sardines again on the whole length of the auditorium there.
I think a lot of us kids slept on the buses. I think we would find the buses and that's where we would sleep because they were, you know, semi-comfortable. And we knew if they were going to pick a bunch of people up and take them somewhere, we'd get there because we're asleep on the bus. And there was also drinks and stuff on the bus, drinks and snacks on the bus. I just like Mike's stories are all like beer. Mine are just drink and sleep related, drink and snack related.
Find
Okay.
a place to sleep. Oh man, what was the one that you wanted to say that? Because we were talking about chicoria, like the difference between.
Oh yeah, in the early days, you know, we'd have these wild parties with all the drinking and stuff like that, and there'd always be a whole bunch of people get RPF the next day because of out-2D and you know
Having sex with somebody.
somebody they weren't married to. You know, it was you guaranteed you're going to add like 10 people to the RPF after every party. So then they got wise to that, and they started having this show up. No alcohol. It's like white tablecloths and candles and flowers, and Chick Corea's up there playing the piano the whole time, and we're like, this ain't a party, man.
Oh,
They
my
just try to make it
goodness.
so chill so nobody could get in trouble.
Yeah.
So when we first got out and I made my first kind of home cooked meal,
Yeah.
because I didn't know how to cook or whatever, I set the table all really nice. I lit a candle and everything like that. I had this really nice setup, and he comes and sits down and blows out the candle. You know? Like, what the hell?
You don't like the flickering in front of my eyes.
He's like, happy birthday to me.
That's funny.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
when we first left, and I think that was did it stay on the Aftermath show when that thing where it was like
Yeah.
we had
Yeah.
been married when we left. We had been married for 13 years. We'd
yeah.
been married for 13 years. And and we got to this place and we were like, oh my gosh, and was that when we had the condo, or were we still living with my dad?
We were still living with your dad and his wife at the time.
Yeah.
And so it was just so surreal to be like, now after having lived in the Sea organization for so many years, now we're in a real house and we're sleeping and we're watching all these movies. And one day I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to make dinner tonight. And Mark looks at me. He's like, you know how to cook?
Yeah, we'd been
I'm
married
like,
for
"Yes."
12 years. She'd never ever cooked a meal. Ever.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
I'm
so-
like, of course. And he's like, well, what are you going to make? I'm like, spaghetti bolognese. And he
Yeah.
was like, you know how to make that? I'm like,
I
of
was
course
like,
I
what
do.
is going on? She knows how to cook. It's like, I cashed in here.
Well, I mean, I taught myself to cook by reading the Fanny Farmer cookbook.
which
when
she
I was
still
13.
has to this day. This
Yeah.
cookbook.
No
Yeah.
kidding.
So my stepdad had asked for that for Christmas one day. And then, so I got it for him. And then, so from when I was about 14 to 16, I would look after my siblings who were starting when they were 4, 2, and just a few months old. I would look after them from noon until midnight every day because I wasn't in school. And we had no money. So I read the entire cookbook so I could figure out what I could make to feed my siblings with what we had in the cupboard.
Wow.
So I one time I made ham croquettes and whatever.
That's fun.
Yeah,
That's so
but
good.
so I just read the entire cookbook cover to cover.
And she
Nice.
still has it to this day. And every
I
once in a
do.
while, she'll cook something out of there. But
Yep.
but yeah, it was kind of weird to be together the whole first 12 years. And that's why some people are like, how do you not know some of these things? Well, after you've been married to somebody for 12 years, you're not like asking tons and tons and tons of other questions. And also about the craziness, we're sort of like, the craziness is over. We're just doing everything now. So there's not really, we don't sit around telling stories about, 50 years ago.
Yeah,
But,
and as you know, when you're in, it's not like I was going to tell him all the horror stories from my
Right,
years in the
right,
cadet
yeah.
org. Then I would just be like, well, no, that's not a thing you do. You can't do that. You're going to get in a shit ton of trouble.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Excuse my
so
language.
sometimes
In
when
the
we're,
CO, you could be married for years and not know very much about your spouse.
or just
Exactly.
not
Amazing.
know a ton of stuff. No, you'd know. I mean, I know I was there with her for 12 years. I know a lot of the things that she went through, but I didn't know some of the things. So we're doing these Scientology story videos, and sometimes she'll say something. I'm just like, what?
Yes.
Because she'll be telling the story and she might have not told me that one piece. So
Yeah.
I know the general story, but I didn't know this one part. Like when they went to, there was some guy at their school who was doing stuff with the younger girls that it was a teacher that he shouldn't have been doing it. And she almost ended up going, he like called her and another girl into his office or something. And Claire was like, I ain't going in there. And then the girl
just
that
knew.
did go in, something happened and later it came out. And I'm like, this was at the Scientology school that you
No,
went to?
that was at St. Hill. That was a member of the Sea organization.
Oh my, see, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's just like,
course.
what?
Yeah.
Wasn't there some dude at Greenfields though?
Yeah,
that was,
that was
just
the
a
teacher
separate
that was
thing.
messing with male students.
Oh, I get it. Yikes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Who
but
ended
so
up in jail.
Sometimes they
Right.
tell these stories and you're just like, what?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
anyway,
that's
Matt,
amazing.
I've been doing work with Matt, and we, spend about a few weeks together every few months. And Matt has the best stories. That's why even when we were talking about doing a channel, I was like, oh, Matt could tell. He could tell 100 hours worth of stories and have another 100 already ready in the chamber. I mean, he has the most hilarious, not only the Sea Org stories, because somehow Matt, when he was in Clearwater, he had it worked out.
Yeah, I know.
He was on a boat, like a Scientologist had
tell
a
him.
boat at the dock, and he just like mosey on down to the boat during lunch and go fishing. And you're just like,
Wow.
dude, you were in
Cabin
another
cruiser.
Sea Org. You were not in the Sea Org that
No.
I was in. And you think about it, it's like, yeah, no, I was in the real Sea Org. I was in the sea on a boat, like fishing. Like, yeah, you were in the middle of the desert. You weren't in the Sea Org, dude.
Yeah. I had the boat down in the Clearwater Marina, and it had black leather furniture and black leather couch, red carpet, bedrooms, a bathroom, a bar, fully outlaid bar.
Wow.
We had a lot of parties there. Like when these parties started really not being good at the base, guys would come to the boat and we would have a party there and we'd play poker and stuff all night.
Wow.
Yeah, he's
See,
doing
I
all
can't
these
even.
things that I was always trying to be good and follow the rules and everything.
Yeah, me
like
too.
that.
Well, even at the base, it was like, I mean, that was the story that I thought was a fun story was when do you remember that time, Claire? Like in the early 90s, the base was in a town called Gilman Hot Springs. So the nearby towns were San Jacinto and Hemet. And they butt up against each other and they would butt up against Gilman Hot Springs. So it was San Jacinto or Gilman Hot Springs up here and then Hemet and then San Jacinto. Yeah. And so if you were at the base and you lived at the base, you never left. Well, for a long time in the early 90s, there was so many people arriving to the base that they had to get these apartments. And there was some apartments in Hemet and there was some apartments in San Jacinto. And so you were already sort of in the town when you went home. Yeah. So if it was 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning, it's just like, I'm just going to go right over to In-N-Out over here and go get some.
I can't believe you did that.
Or we're going to go to Vaughn's, or we're going to go.
I didn't even know there was an In-N-Out or a Vaughn's
Well, but
in Hemet, and I lived there for 20 freaking years.
But if you lived with somebody who had a car, or you knew
Yeah.
if you were friends with somebody who had a car, then you could get, because it was probably a 10-minute drive from the apartment to the maybe 15 to the In-N-Out and the mall and, you know, all the stuff in town. Well, because we were only home from like 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. There wasn't a lot of things open. Well, In-N-Out just happens to be one of those places that's open pretty late.
Well,
so,
but
on the
it
weekends.
closed at midnight.
Well, but on the weekends, it was open late. On Friday and Saturdays, it was open late. So if you got home at 1, you could still go to In-N-Out and get a burger. Or you could go when Walmart opened. When Walmart opened, that was sort of like a revolution because Walmart was 24/7. Walmart was 24/7. So you could go in there. You could get home at 3 and then go, hey, I'm going to zip over to Walmart and pick up about $10 worth of groceries.
Yeah, right.
Because I'm a baller. I got $10 left after coffee and cigarettes. So yeah, you'd go to Walmart, you could get something. But then there was this survey that was done.
That was in 1993, the on-base, off-base survey.
Oh my God, I know that survey.
So when this survey got done,
and the purpose of it, I know the purpose of it.
This survey, it was a printed thing, and it was called the on-base or off-base survey. And now these surveys happened every once in a while. They'd send out a survey. Now in the Sea Organization, you got to know that this just is not like somebody who they're just trying to find out what you think about this or whatever.
Yeah, honestly, I think it was the only survey ever done in the history of the base. I mean, I don't know. I'd never been surveyed before.
Oh no, they did surveys all the time in Gold.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This might have been the only survey that was done to the entire base. Every single person on the base had to do this survey.
Like it was mandatory, and you couldn't say, "Oh, I don't care." Like I remember Steve Hodkin is the person that did the survey on me, and I was like, "I don't care. Whatever, I'll live wherever I'm told to live." Of course, I wanted to live off base, but I knew better by that point. You know, it's like, there's always going to be a twist.
There's a catch.
There's going to be a catch.
They were fishing. They were fishing for disaffected people.
Big time.
Exactly. So basically the survey said, do you want to live on base? If no, why? If yes, why? Do you want to live off base? If yes, why? If no, why? And then it was sort of like, what amenities would you like? And, you know, and so everybody does this survey. Okay. Everybody fills this thing out. Was it the next day or was it like the end of the week or what? Do you remember?
It was a day or two later.
Yeah. A couple days later, is it going to be a base briefing? And everybody has to go down to the dining hall, MCI, Massacre Canyon Inn, and go down there. And we're setting up for a briefing. You know, set it up.
Yeah,
and then
and we should note for the audience when you find out there's going to be a base briefing, it's never going to be good.
It's never like you guys are rock stars. We're having a party. That's not what's happening.
It's never good. It's never a good day when there's a base briefing.
Someone's
That's
getting
fair, right?
Yeah, someone's getting carried out of this in a body bag for sure, if not multiple people.
Yeah.
And so we get there, and sure enough, and this is the other reason is, like it's the briefings let's say the briefing's going to be at 7:30. Okay, so 7:00. People start showing up, setting up, getting everything ready. By 7:15, all the chairs are there, everything's set. And then the organizations of the base would sit in various sections. So the Golden Era production guys, we all sat in the back. Mm-hmm. And then in front of us sat the Commodore's Messenger organization, CMO Gold. They would sit in front of us. And then CMO Int would sit in a section, and Exec Strata would sit in a section, and all the different units would all sit in their sections. And in the very, very tippy front, RTC would sit, and they would take up like the front 2 or 3 rows of the dining hall would be all RTC. And once everybody was seated, then somebody would say, call David Miscavige to say, okay, everyone is seated. And at that point, it could be a half hour. It could be 5 minutes. It could be 3 hours. Whenever he wanted, he would come. And the door, he would come in. He had his own special entrance to the Massacre Canyon Inn called the Department 21 or the COB entrance. Mm-hmm. And so he only came in and out through that door. And so
that way, because it had a compartment, you could go in and then you could actually see.
Exactly.
And look
it had a little ante
place.
room so he could come inside and no one would know he had come inside. Yeah. And then he could be in there for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 15 minutes. He could have a cigarette. He could just whatever. He'd do whatever. And then he'd come in. Well, if you were really, really savvy, you could watch the window, because the two doors that came into there had glass. I knew this was coming. They had
I gotta
glass.
grab something. I'll be right back.
And if you open the outside doors, the glass would kind of go. It would shutter. It would just be a little bit of buffer, and then you knew, like, okay, hey, look alive! It's about to go down. And so there's a few of us that knew, like, we're not getting caught off guard when he comes in. And as soon as he walked through those doors, everybody had to stand at attention. Yeah. Anyway, he goes on a tirade about how off purpose we are and how off source, meaning we're not following L. Ron Hubbard policy and all these things, because a whole bunch of people don't even want to live on the property. They want to live off of the property. And the reason why they want to live off the property is to go to Vaughn's and to go to In-N-Out and to go shopping and go to the mall on Sunday morning and do all these things that you do in the real world, which we shouldn't have anything to do with. And so everybody who wrote off base was immediately assigned lowered conditions. Yeah. Every single one of those people was immediately, you're in lower conditions. I think it was
they were off basers, they all got labeled.
Oh no, it would be one of those things when you'd be like, yeah, no, Tim is in trouble and he's doing this and he also happened to be one of the off base people.
Yeah,
and
it was like a permanent disqualification.
It was literally like it was a mark on your record. Like, what did you do about this and what did you do? And, I've been good. Weren't you one of those off basers? And you're just like, oh man. So luckily, I knew how to play the game. I wrote on base. I answered that thing just like I put all the answers they wanted to hear. Even though I was Dr. Vaughn's. I was at Vaughn's. I was at Walmart. I was at In-N-Out. I was getting all that good stuff.
Dr. Vaughn's.
Anyway,
what did you answer, Amy?
Oh, I said on base. I knew that it was a 7.
That's the best part. Probably 98% of the people wanted to live off base.
Yeah.
And 50% of them were stupid enough to write off base. The other people were like, I'm writing on base. Yeah. I was born on the weekend, not last weekend. I know how this place works. Yeah. Anyway, the part that I was going to tell you was, as part of that, there was another thing that was done, and this is why I knew they did other surveys. This is the only reason I even told the story about the survey, is because there was another survey. David Miscavige was fed up.
Oh, but let me say just on that one real quick, because then the next thing that David Miscavige did was he put a huge Vaughn's sign over our little tiny closet of a canteen, because everyone wants to go to Vaughn's. So now he just labeled our stupid canteen Vaughn's.
Well, to be fair, they did also start carrying things that people were going to Vaughn's to get because they didn't have it in the canteen. Like, you couldn't get Q-tips or, shampoo. They had some shampoos or stuff, but you couldn't get. The stuff they had was not the good stuff. It was the stuff they could get for cheap and then mark it up and then sell it to us schmucks for more than we should be paying for it.
Yeah.
And
didn't they even for a while have little mini shopping carts outside?
There was a shopping cart outside after the Vaughn sign.
And then
part of the rub it in.
Nicholas Rakonen tore down the sign because, but this isn't Vaughn's, whatever. Anyway, he got into big trouble, and it was made to go back up. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was like, dude, some rando didn't put that sign up. Dave Miscavige had that sign put up, you maniac.
Yeah.
Hey,
I guess he didn't know that.
shout out to Nick Raconen. He's on
Yeah,
he's out. He's not in there in that crazy
he's
place.
out.
He's a pilot still. He flies and he's like a whole pilot group.
I went up in the air with him.
So did I. We
Did
went
you? Oh, it was big.
we went location scouting to San Francisco in a plane, him and I.
Wow.
Oh yeah, we flew all over. He let me fly. He literally showed me how to fly the plane and showed me like, keep the compass here and we're going to switch to this frequency. And he's like, wake me up when we get to that one and I'll help you set the new beacon. And he went and took a nap.
Oh my God.
First time I've ever been in a plane. I flew to San Francisco on beacons in a little Cessna 172 or some nonsense like that.
And we went up with him one Christmas.
We did.
For an hour.
I would just, we would save up and I would just get gas. That's all he wanted. He had whatever he had set up with the plane. They would let him take it out and they just wanted him to fill it up or something like that. So whenever I would throw him a couple bucks for fuel, we'd go up.
Yeah.
But, okay. So,
but sorry, by the way, it's time for our next giveaway.
let me just finish the survey story. Then we do the giveaway and then we're done.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
Anyway, there was a survey. David Miscavige hated that the buildings on the property were all referred to by their number. Because when they did the base master plan, they said, okay, this is building this is building that, and whatever names they had when we got there, for the most part, those are the names that they all kept. But the buildings that got built newly, they were never there. So that was the manufacturing building was building number 36. So everyone called it building 36.
Always.
And
building 50 was his
and then
office.
his building, when it got built, was building number 50. And all the buildings, so a lot of these buildings were just referred to by numbers or their old name that had nothing to do with what they did now. And so, the tavern, the ranchos, the G's, the greenskeeper's house, all these different things, the GK, all these things just kept their names for OGH, Old Gilman House. Anyway, so he did this survey. And he said, the buildings are getting new names, and we want to find out what people want them to be called. And so they sent this survey out. And I thought, well, I don't know how I could. There's no way this one could turn on me because it's a building name. So I thought, they said, what would you like Building 36 to be called? Well, I was sort of like the dude in Building 36. I worked in HEM, I worked in systems, I worked in manufacturing, I was the producer in the executive division. So I was like, I know this building inside and out. And I spent quite a bit of time down in Department 3 as well. That's the investigations department. That's where you go when you get in trouble. That's also in the same building.
Yeah.
It's down the hall from my office. Anyway, so I wrote down what I thought it should be called, which was the Marky Mark Trailer Park and an adjacent expansion mansion. Okay. And that's what I wrote on the thing. And the Marky Mark Trailer Park with the adjacent expansion. What's that?
Did you know it was a COB survey?
I didn't know who the survey was, but I thought about it. I was like, okay, this was after the off-base, on-base one, but I'm like, there's no way. There's no way anyone's name is going to get accepted.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I thought. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, we're going to find out what the staff want to call the buildings. Like, who gives a shit? It's Building 36. It's always going to be Building 36. Anyway, so I wrote Marky Mark Trailer Park with adjacent expansion mansion. Anyway, and I don't remember what happened, but we were at some meeting and somebody brought up, I heard somebody say the words expansion mansion. And I was like, my ears kind of perked up. I was like, that survey might have gone a little higher than I thought it went. Anyway, and then at some point, Dave Miscavige was like, really? Marky Mark Trailer Park? You think we're going to call? And I was like, who cares? I was just like, it was funny. I like, really? Like, does anything matter anymore anyway at this place? And the best part is, whatever they called them, buildings did come out with names eventually. It was called this is now going to be called the dissemination division or something was what the manufacturing building 36 was supposed to be called. And I guarantee you, I mean, even after that, for years, we called it Building 36. No one,
Yeah.
and Building 50 was always Building 50. Unless you were talking to Dave, you would say, "I'll be up at the RTC building." And every once in a while, people would slip and be like, "Well, when we were at Building 50," and you'd be like, when we were at the RTC building," and he's like, and then it would be like, "Which RTC building?" It'd be like,
Building 50.
Building 50, and you'd be like, no, the upper villas. And the upper villas was another one. It was the lower villas, the middle villas, and the upper villas. And the upper villas and the middle villas were RTC, right? And the lower villas were the berthing for the RTC.
Yeah, Miscavige's berthing. Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, it was ridiculous. But regardless, those are a few of the fun things that I can.
Yeah. Okay, so now we got to do a giveaway, and then we got to get to some comments because I have a hard cutoff in 27 minutes.
Oh my goodness. We haven't
Wow.
answered any questions.
I know.
Okay.
That's why I'm moving this forward, because obviously we're going to have you young gentlemen back, because this was way too much fun.
Yes.
Oh yeah, this is fun.
Well, this is for my book, Scientology Abuse at the Top, signed by my husband and I. And we will go to the comments here. Let's see, those are the stars. I'll go to the live. Okay, so if you would like a Scientology Abuse of the Top book by me, signed by my husband and I, say book me.
Book me.
Book me. And I'm going to count from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Carmen,
you got it. Congratulations, Carmen.
Nice. You are a winner tonight, Carmen. Yay.
you are a winner. So if you could just send me an email, Amy at Scobee publishing.com, then you will be mailed a book.
Is it dash? Could it also be dash or?
I think so. It's Scobee-publishing.com. It's just, I think it's politically correctly.
Yeah, but everybody knows what a dash is. Not everybody knows what a hyphen is. So just say dash.
Yes, I think technically a dash is 2 hyphens if we're going to get political about it.
Oh,
but
that's
right?
That's what I was going to say.
Keyboard-wise, it's the hyphen.
Yeah, the hyphen is the small one, and a dash is the double-sided.
Yeah.
It's basically
I got it.
double-sized.
I got you.
Yeah.
Or it could be the other way around, or it could be called a gibbly-gog. I don't know.
I think people know what I mean, but
yes.
Anyway, so that is wonderful, and they get that book, so that's really good. We'll go on to the comments now, right?
Yep. So I'll read the questions, and
I wanted to say one thing because I almost forgot, which is at those parties at the Massacre Canyon Inn, Shelley Miscavige and I arm wrestled.
Wow.
Yeah,
did you win?
You know, I almost had it all the way down, and Mark Yeager was taking all these photographs, so they have photos, and then she like called it to stop before I just got it.
Oh man!
And then she said she sent me a bunch of the other pictures of that night, but she said the arm wrestling ones didn't turn out.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I'm going to the starred questions. Here we go.
All right. Kaz Ferns, hoping to see glimpses of SP Pups. Love y'all.
Yep,
Thank
you got them.
Yes,
definitely got that.
absolutely. Diana B, it's double date night. Yes, exactly. Fun. John Zatowski, Mike is the pepperoni on the SPTV pizza. Enough said.
Nice.
Okay, then.
Sure.
All right, Nicole the Kiwi. Proud to be an Everin. So much love and respect to you all from your biggest New Zealand fan. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you for being here. Mark Fisher in the house. Hi, everyone. Thanks, Mark, for my spy files. I love my OSA, quote, code name, unquote, mofo. F you, OSA.
Yeah, that is a fun thing. So Mark Fisher in the SP files, he is not referred to as Mark Fisher by Dave. Dave always refers to him as mofo. Mark Fisher, mofo. So somebody emailed me saying, because their files, I sent them to multiple people, but somebody said, who's mofo? Is that Mark Fisher? And I was like, yep, that's Mark Fisher.
Unbelievable. Always a dig from David.
Yeah. Oh
Miscavige.
yeah. Dave can't
No.
can't hold back.
Yep.
Yes.
And Hummingbird. Hi, I was watching from Amy's page and was all alone. LOL.
Oh, you guys got to go watch on Amy's page.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You got
definitely.
to get her subs up.
Yeah. Go over to my page and subscribe.
Yeah,
You know-
absolutely.
You know, some
You
of the
be all alone there.
no.
Yeah, some of these new SPT never ends. They're trying to get their channels monetized, and is it Denver? Yeah, Denver Stevo. He has he's doing videos. They're called Sleeping with Stevo, and he goes on. He's like, "Hey guys, welcome to the channel." Da 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 da. And he's like, "Okay, I'm going to sleep," and he just gets up. And he puts on some music and he turns out the lights. Like he just turns off these lights, but the background lights and everything are all still on. And it just plays all night long, the music. And then he comes in the morning and he's like, "Hey, good. It was a good time. We did a good video there."
That's pretty awesome.
They're like 9-hour videos. He's trying to get his watch hours up. So other people are going to the channel and just putting it on and leave it on and go to sleep to
Oh,
it.
wow.
Just some
Oh, my
background music to sleep to.
Yeah, and rest assured, Amy, there's tons of people on your page. They were all commenting. All right,
Oh, good.
PA Girl 913. Thank you, PA Girl. My absolute fave 4 people on YouTube, plus Jackson. Can we please get Goldie a buy me a cup of coffee link?
Good
Oh, that's
idea.
not a bad
Awesome,
idea.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
a great
and-
idea.
yeah,
well,
absolutely.
Goldie has to do it, though.
Yes. Yeah, I'll get with Goldie on that. And also in the interim, if you'd like to show Goldie some love, you can go to the Blown for Good merch store and just do a donation and just say in the comment that it's for Goldie, and Goldie knows. I pass it on to her
Yeah.
immediately. So
That's great.
And
That's
just
awesome.
and just so everybody knows, we also do take care of Goldie separately.
do.
We do.
Yeah.
She's not. She insisted that she do it without being taken care of, and we refused. And so she does get. At least we do that. I don't know if
Yeah.
all the other channels do. We have suggested to other channels you might want to throw her a bone
yeah,
every once in a while.
we
so.
we
Yeah,
just
it's
we just
amazing.
personally, speaking for Mark and I, having worked for $46 a week for 14 years, we're not a fan.
If you're doing my
You know, we were
philosophy.
trying to save the world and we didn't. And so we believe in, when there's really good people who cross your paths. And in this YouTube world, there are many such people. We just believe, you know what? We want to show those people that we love and respect them, not just by saying so, but by actually meaningfully doing so.
It is my firm philosophy that if you do good work, you should be paid for it. So
Yes.
Goldie does amazing work. So
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yep. Okay. Selena Michelle, love my SPTV. Please hit the like button. Yes. Thank you, Selena, for being here. And we appreciate that brilliant suggestion.
And I love your dog photo.
All right. Fabian Andiel. What would happen if you criticized LRH's overweight or teeth in Scientology, not the tech? Oh, yeah. No.
Be gone.
yeah, that's not a
Like
good
fast.
idea.
Real fast.
Sayonara. Yep. No. No bueno.
I think you learn early on. You keep your opinions. Keep those locked up there.
Yep, absolutely. Kathy Ann, hey heroes, was rewatching old SPTV and had a question. Did TC get in trouble for Katie being pregnant before their wedding? Osa, lots to keep up with now. Yeah, no, TC did not get in trouble because that rule and policy only applies to members of the Sea Organization, which Tom Cruise definitely is not one
Right.
of. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
No.
yeah. Also, Scientologists can do whatever they want. They can have 5 kids by 5 different mothers. It's sort of like whatever. It doesn't. They're not. That's not a thing in Scientology. It's only in the Sea Organization where you're not. There's none of that intermingling.
Yes. Jay, Claire, you were awesome in that interview with Aaron. I think, Jay, you might be meaning Andrew Gold because that's what we talked about today. It's been, I think, about 2 years since I did a one-on-one interview with Aaron. But thank you either way. I appreciate it. Yay. Marilyn Honig, yay, Coffee, Cults, and Crafts. Don't forget to subscribe to Marilyn on YouTube. Just wanted to say hi and thank you for all you do. Woohoo. I love Wonder Women Wednesdays. You guys are great too.
That's a good name.
Oh, yeah, no, I figured out right after starting the channels, like Claire. Yeah, Claire. They like Claire. Do more videos with Claire. Claire, you want to do more videos? Yeah. Okay, good. Perfect.
Selena Michelle, all hail Queen Bee. Love you, babe. Hit the like button, please. Awesome.
Thank
yes.
you.
Woohoo.
Love that nickname.
Yes.
I have some fun intro outro with a new logo that I made. It's fun. I'll have to show you guys.
Oh,
Ooh.
awesome. Jefferson Hawkins in the house. If
Hey.
Dave wants to figure out OT 9 and 10, maybe he should hit the rum and coke for a few weeks, and maybe he could come up with something.
Oh, I could think of all kinds of substances he could take to figure out some stuff. You think he's got some crazy ideas now? Oh my goodness!
There's been a bunch of people that have told us, Chat GPT could get on that, no problem.
People have sent
that'd
me.
be interesting.
Yeah, people have asked some AI application to write the OT levels, and they've sent them to me, and it's insanity.
It's crazy,
God.
so crazy.
Wow.
KC429, hopefully I'm saying that correct. Claire should have kissed him on the cheek and said, "See you next week." Let him deal with a mad boss baby karma, LOL. Alrighty, Cindy. Ooh, Ziskowitz. Cindy Ziskowitz. That's my last go. Love the four of you. Hi, Osa. Plenty of folks waiting to love you. Come on out and get it. Yes.
Oh
Yeah,
my God, the
come on
OSA
out.
guys! How can they watch so much video?
No,
I know. And
They
how
know
can
all of
they
it's
not
true.
laugh at a lot of this? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Can you
know?
imagine if they have a control room at OSA now and it just has all these screens with all
Yeah.
these videos?
They probably
playing?
do.
They
Yeah,
have to.
that's my favorite part of Kelly Copter's SPTV intro is the part where it's like OSA cams and,
Yeah.
and it's Aaron saying there's nothing they can do about this YouTube
Yeah.
phenomena. It's just so good. All right,
Yeah.
John Zatowski, too many hands in the soup spoil the cook. Good one. Yep. Destiny Salazar. Mark, it was great to see you join in on the chatathon. You've always been so supportive of the greater SPTV community. The chats appreciate you. Yes.
Thank you. I
I'm really
appreciate
sad
you
I
guys.
didn't get to join in. I was so trying. I was like madly charging my laptop, but then I couldn't get on the internet and I'm like, oh, busted. I can't do this. Sorry,
yeah,
guys.
she wasn't in Colorado. She was out of
No.
state on another
Yeah.
project. So I was I didn't have anything to do. I was like, it's getting late. I'll just jump
I
here.
had to be up at 5:30 the next morning to get on a flight, and I was like, oh man, I done messed up.
Yeah.
Jay, just curious, where does OSA fit in with the whole not-for-profit thing? Sounds like an IRS nightmare. It should be an IRS nightmare.
Yeah.
OSA does not fit in with the not-for-profit
No.
thing, nor does it fit in with the we're clearing the planet or saving the world. No,
Or
OSA is
religion.
dedicated to we are going to destroy our critics and we will spend whatever millions of dollars we need to accomplish that.
Did I tell you, Amy? I found the OSA financial planning documents in these things. They
no, you
spent
did not.
Yeah, in 2000, it was either 2004 or 2005. They spent $65,000 on domain names. That was for one year, Amy.
And that was before the Who Is
That was
website.
before. That was before
Yes.
any of us had done any books or anything. Before
Oh, it's got to
that,
be quadruple that now. at
they were
least more.
spending $65,000 just on domain names.
And it stopped nothing.
Yeah, and can you imagine what they're spending these days?
Oh,
No.
it's crazy.
It's they were Anyway, these files I've sent them to all kinds of people. Hopefully, some of
Good.
them can do something with them because there's just
yeah.
too many for me to do. That's why there's been no spy file videos because I've been just reading spy files, trying to
yeah.
figure out who to send them to,
It
so
definitely
those
takes
people
work.
can do some videos. But but the crazy thing is, I had files on Mark and Janice. They have a YouTube channel. I had files on you guys.
Yeah.
You have a YouTube channel. They had files on all these different people that all have YouTube channels now. And I thought, how insane that they picked all these people to mess with. And those are the people that could do videos about these files. I thought, this is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
And also talk about utter failure on Kirsten Catano's position. That was her one job. And it even says in these programs to silence all the ex-members. Did you see the one where it's like the program to silence the ex-members that are speaking out?
Yeah.
And I'm like, good job, Osa. You literally listed out all these people. They all wrote books. They've been on TV. They've been in movies.
Around
you guys
the
are
world.
useless.
I have a message for David Miscavige and all of OSA. You ready?
Yes.
Flunk.
Yeah.
Failed. RPF material.
Yeah,
Yep.
unbelievable stuff. Yeah, so that's really, I'm hoping that just their financial planning documents, because it's a proper financial planning. It's the whole entire package. So it's the
I gotta see that.
He knows all
it's
about
the
that
it's the
financial
completed staff work, the CSW.
Yeah,
It's here's the set asides. They have all their set asides. They have a domain name set aside that has all the bills. It has all of the account statements for all of their bank accounts, every single one, what the balances are. I will send them to you, Matt.
Definitely.
You will see this and you will be like, and then the CSW for what they want to get. So it's like $100,000 a week they're spending. Yeah. So it's like, we need to pay, we're working on this project and it has whatever it is. There's a guy, his name is, the guy that did ShamWow, that video, that guy?
Yeah, Vince.
Yep.
Vince. Yeah, Vince. His name is Shlomi, his real name.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he used to be a Scientologist. The ShamWow guy used to be a Scientologist, and he sued Scientology. They got into a big, big dust up. And they have, the time when these financial planning documents are from, they are paying lawyers to mess with him and do stuff with him. And it's in the FP. It says Shlomi Fund. And there's $5,000 to fight this guy. And when I saw Shlomi, I was like, is that the ShamWow guy? I'm pretty sure Shlomi is the ShamWow guy. And sure enough, that's exactly what it was.
We're going to have to let him know about that too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure they have a we won't talk about you if you won't talk about us agreement now. After that whole lawsuit, I'm pretty sure that's the way it went. He's also had all kinds of other adventures. But either way, these financial planning documents will blow your mind.
Oh, yeah.
Matt, just to see, and they even say what PI. Oh, the other thing, I'll say this and then we'll get back to the comments. Mm-hmm. The other thing they say is they're paying like all these people on retainers. So like these PIs are $5,000 a week. This lawyer is $2,000 a week. Eric Lieberman's $3,000 a week. Elliot Abelson's $5,000 a week.
Ooh,
and Dave
wow.
Dave was getting freaked out, saying this is bull. These guys are just cashing checks. They're not doing anything. So they were detailing out how they're going to switch over to a pay by product system. So if you steal Mike Rinder's garbage, you get $500. If you get a video of Matt and Amy, you get $500. If you follow them to the grocery store, you get $250. Like, it's like a price list of what they can. Each thing is worth money. We're not just paying you $5,000 a week to watch these people. You have to do something. And so this is all detailed in these documents. Like switching over to when I send it, Matt, you
can do a whole program just on that stuff.
Oh,
man.
that's what I'm saying. I've been trying to do that, and I only had 30 documents when I started. So I had 30 documents. That's it. That's all I had was 30. Yeah. And then I found the other 5,000, and now it's like, this is not going to work. I can't do 5,000 of these a video a week. That's going to take a while. So anyway, I can't wait for people to start seeing
like
these files on these other channels. Oh, you guys are going to do a video on them too?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect,
are you
perfect.
kidding? These are outrageous. People are going to need to see this.
Oh yeah, no.
And it's much better coming from the people who are actually
the ones
named.
Targeted.
Yes, exactly.
All right,
Honey, you're muted. Mark, you're muted.
Some of the documents have data in there that I wouldn't feel comfortable saying about that they wrote about you guys.
Right.
And you could pick and choose, like, well, let's not do this one because this one's just full of nonsense. Or you could say, let's do this one because this one's full of nonsense. Yeah. So
exactly.
Whichever way, but I feel much better reading the ones about me. And if the other people want to read the ones about them, then they can read, because it really does see, like, there's this unknown force that is literally dedicated to destroying your life with unlimited funds.
Yeah.
Right.
Unlimited funds.
And you think they're messing with you. No, they are. There's literally a step-by-step program on how they're going to ruin your life.
Yeah.
And they're
It's
working
sad.
on it. And they're getting in trouble that they're not getting it done. Yeah, they're getting in trouble that there's not enough targets on the ruining Matt and Amy's life program.
Yeah. And
so
honestly,
wild.
it's kind of sad. Like the thought has honestly crossed my mind sometimes where I'm like, it's really sad that I know that they would love for me to be dead. It's just sad.
I know. Oh, I know that they cheer at that kind of stuff because David Miscavige would come into meetings and say, such and such person died from a horse accident as if it was the most awesome thing that ever happened because they had spoken out against Scientology. So yeah, that's what's on their mind.
Yeah.
Really. Anyway, we're going to keep exposing it.
Yep.
Yep.
I did manage to get a little bit of an extension, so I don't have to bail so quickly.
Oh,
but I don't have much. I don't have much of an extension. SP Cracker Liquor fan.
Wow.
Never in. Yes. Love and appreciate you all so much. Your laughter and giggles fill me up. Thanks for all you do and for encouraging others to set themselves free.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it. Stacy, merch idea. Scientology Monopoly must play for 1 billion years, but nobody wins. Just kidding. Just having fun. That would actually be awesome. We could do an amazing Monopoly game. Like instead of go to jail, you go to the rehabilitation project first. Mary Sue Hubbard. Hashtag free Shelley. But let's be real. No one looks happy at the DMV. I know. So I know. And my honest thoughts are this, though. Knowing Shelley personally, that picture is a shell of the woman I knew. And honestly, it looks like a prisoner of war photo. That's just the bottom line.
What Amy said too when she saw it.
Yes.
As soon as I saw
it.
Word for word.
Yep.
No,
Yep.
it's terrifying. And her eyes read, "Help me. Get out." I mean, that's just how I read that. I don't know any other way to look at that. And we should almost dedicate a video just to that whole scenario with the LAPD, but we'll do that another day.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Selena Michelle, Amy and Matt, how's the new pup?
Just fitting in so perfectly.
It's really, really good.
Yeah. And entertaining. I got all these great little videos, which I should probably put something up, but of them just wrestling around and just enjoying the heck out of each other.
Couldn't be better.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Nice.
That's awesome. All right, Lathanda Grocklinger. I blushed a little when you said the Neverends are your favorite group. In my book, you don't have to be a victim yourself to deeply care and want to change conditions for others who suffer. I know. And you know what? That sums up perfectly exactly why I feel that way. Because, just leave it at that. Otherwise, I'm going to start crying.
I know. We could totally talk about that one for a long time.
Yes.
But...
Yes, we could. And Hummingbird again. Aren't DMV pictures in color now? Mine sure is.
Yeah, I guess they don't have a color copier at the LAPD there.
Yeah.
Still trying to get that toner through financial planning.
Yeah.
Apparently they only have the ink finger pads too, to take fingerprints.
Oh,
they didn't do it on the electronic one, which has been in use for the last 2 centuries.
Yes.
Oh, that's true. They just have a little scanner they put your hand in now.
Yeah.
That's really weird now that I think of it. You're right. They're taking ink out there.
Yeah, that's Stone Ages. Joni Cummings. Yeah. I always love to see 4 of my favorite SPTV people, 2 of my favorite ladies, and 2 of my favorite guys. Sending love to all of you and the Renders. Awesome.
Thank you
Yay,
so much.
Thank you. Jay, awesome. The Coachman opened. Boss Baby has to be so pissed. They better not lose his apple box, or he may actually kill someone.
Oh my goodness. Can you imagine being a fly on a wall over at that place?
Oh, I would love to. I would love to. Caroline Wilson. Mitch really seems to still have one foot still in COS, still defending a plant in SPTV.
I don't.
Yeah,
I mean, he's just
that.
really. I mean, guys, he just got out. He's fresh. I mean, that's.
It takes a while.
It takes. When Mike Rinder left, he still, you know,
didn't
he
wanna
still
speak out?
was. He didn't speak out for many, many years. But
Right.
even when he was still not in the Sea Org, he still believed in the Scientology aspect of everything. So he just
Yeah.
knew David Miscavige wasn't doing what L. Ron Hubbard, you know, kind of dictated that he should be doing.
Comes off in layers.
Yes.
But,
Nobody
but the-
ever walks out from Scientology and is instantly.
Mitch was
like-
in since the 70s, right?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
he was
Yeah.
I think JB
1974
John
or
Brousseau
something.
was pretty quick. He came out and went straight to the FBI.
Yeah,
Well-
that's true. That's
well,
true.
yeah, but even then but even so, it wasn't.
I read his messages, and it was all about still doing it for the benefit of Scientology.
That's
That's
right.
right.
But also, he had some help because the first people he went to
Oh, I
was
know.
Marty and Mike. So
Yeah.
they'd already had years of kind of decompressing to get him up to speed really quick. And also, he was when
Plus
JB left, he was sort of like, you know, I did a ton for you guys, and I did a bunch of awesome stuff.
And they were chasing him down.
You're throwing me
Yes.
under the bus, and so we're gonna do this the way on my terms. And he really, you know, I'll give a hand to JB. He is doing it. He's living the life. He's got kids, and he's got they're traveling, and he's doing the dad gig and the have a job and have a house, and he's doing
Yeah.
a stellar job right now. So
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
I got to give him props.
Yep. Mary Kay. I read Cheap Trick is playing at Coachman Park.
Good.
Oh,
Okay.
awesome. That would be amazing.
There you go. SP Cracker Liquor fan. Treats for all the SPs.
Oh, good.
Yay.
Snacks? Did somebody say
All the
snacks?
SP. Yeah, snacks on snacks on snacks. Snacks on snacks on snacks.
Snacks on snacks on snacks.
Destiny Salazar. Should we lobby our representatives to build concert venues next to all the ideal orgs?
Such a great idea.
Yes.
Such a great idea. All you buskers out there, the best place to busk is right outside of Scientology Center.
Yes. Kelly A. Amy, maybe you could organize a mass mailing dates and announce through banners on all the SPTV channels.
That's interesting. Okay, so that's a possibility.
Don't you think it would just be better if they were just always getting them as opposed to setting it up like do them now? Because if you all order postcards, well, I guess they really would just print and all ship at the same time.
Let's get input from the person I mentioned. Amy, I'll share this email with you as well, because this person had very, very good input, I think.
Okay,
So,
I would
yeah.
love that.
I think
Thank
we
you.
collaborate on that. We'll take that into consideration. Thank you.
Okay, perfect.
Denver Stevo in the house. Denver Stevo loves you all. Thanks again for stopping in on Monday night. Osa smells like poo.
So funny.
Thank you, Denver Stevo.
Yes. Shayna P. Law Nerd at Denver Stevo. I'm a mod there. Oh, awesome.
Oh,
Yes,
nice.
Shanna is a mod. She's been a mod on one of those other channels.
Nice.
Nice.
That's
She's
awesome.
She's their Goldie.
Nice. L. Wint. Is it a problem for law enforcement that docs, spy files, aren't on letterhead or have names, just office initials?
Oh no, they. I don't think. Obviously, they're not like going to be like Church of Scientology International letterhead. Please destroy these people's lives. Signed. This is my name, my birthday, my date of birth. No, they're the whole purpose of these documents is to be a little bit like not on the main communication lines on the none of these documents are on the Scientology internal message system.
Yeah.
These are Word documents that are being written and then just shared back and forth Word documents so that they don't have an email or they don't have the way they would transfer these things is over file transfer protocol. I think it's FTP sites, and somebody would have a folder and another person would have a folder, and it would be an encrypted transmission of these files back and forth. Problem is when you send a file, you usually put in a folder called sent, and then that sent folder just builds up and builds up and builds up. And then if you happen to put it on a thumb drive and leave it in your briefcase for 5 years, and then somebody gets that briefcase and then opens it up and goes, what's on here? And then suddenly your OSA documents are all over the internet. Anyway.
By the way, Mark, I have a question. So when I was going through a bunch of them the other day, I saw this reference to D-line materials.
That's the trash. That's when they steal your garbage. That's called the D-line. That's
Okay.
that's its code name. So if you guys are reading the documents and they said the D-line's going to happen on Thursday, or the other thing it's mentioned, I think in a lot of these newer files or the during the time period that you guys have some files in, they call that special collection.
Yes.
So whenever you see the D-line or special collection, that means they're picking up your garbage that week, or they just pick
a little dictionary of OSER terms.
We started that.
Okay,
yeah,
we'll put that together.
One of them that I saw was from whole MR via whole this person to the Inspector General something or other. But that was their post title, whole.
If you were in the hole at the int base, then your name or your initials were preceded by whole.
Yeah.
So it would say
they're
whole
saying there was no such thing
MR.
as a whole. We've got your stupid documents, guys.
Yes.
Literally, there are so many whole documents that you're just like, this is really crazy.
And they're really revealing too.
They are.
Like that they label all these people who are not on different posts that used to be at the base as DB. They have the name DB.
Which for people listening is degraded being, which means it's essentially like you may as well be a bum on the street. You have no value, you have no intelligence, you're incapable of producing anything, incapable of communicating. You may as well be a non-entity.
Yeah, and they're labeling hundreds of people.
Show just on all of that stuff.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
I was going to tell you guys, if you start going through them, you have to make a limit, because you could read these files for days and not be like, what the hell?
I know. It's really dark.
And
so
just
dark.
Picturing being back in the place,
I know. That's the thing that's so crazy about me is the OSA guys, we're out and we're doing our thing, and they have to watch us and they have to find out everything that we're doing. How could they not be like, we got to get out of here? Like they're like, we followed them to the beach, then we followed them, they went to the restaurant, then we followed them to the hotel, then we followed them to the concert, and you're just like,
you were celebrating at IHOP.
It's like, but even still, you're like, they're living it up, and we're sitting here watching.
I know.
Watch
it's crazy.
Debbie Cook, video, and not want to just get out of there. I mean, come on, guys, you're on the wrong side of the fence, man.
You're on the wrong side of history. Let's just say it right now.
Outside of evil.
I'll say one more thing, and we'll get back to the comments. The funniest part of these files is they're like, Jimmy Yo has also mentioned this black propaganda about David Miscavige beating people up, and we're going to get to the bottom of where he heard it from. And then it's like, but there's like 25 people like, another ex-base person said he'd also witnessed David Miscavige getting violent people, and we're going to trace this back to where this came from. But it's like the OSA guys are like, you think they'd be at this point, they'd be like, I think David Miscavige might have been beating people up there. It seems to be 87 people now.
I mean, how dense can you be if you think that 100 people all witnessed in total detail him beating people?
It's like, we traced it back, sir. Where did it come from? Came from somebody watching you beat people up. That's where it came from.
It came from you, sir.
Evidently, when you beat people up, there's folks around watching.
It's happening.
Who knew? Susan B., so excited to see you two lovely couples. Finally ordered Mark's book. Can't wait to read. Yay. Thank you for being here, Susan.
Thank you, Susan.
Selena Michelle to mango and kiwi from Maxwell for treats.
Oh,
Yay.
wow. Now we have dogs giving other dogs treats on YouTube.
Yes, that's awesome.
It's like Brave New World, folks. Brave New World.
Yes.
For sharing the love.
Yes. Jay, Mark, and Claire still working on the free Xenu art. Awesome.
Oh, awesome.
Thank
Free
you.
Xenu. I
Yes.
like that. Free Xenu.
Yes.
Gary Jackson Moorhead in the house.
Yes.
That happened another time with him. I tried smelling salts, running a pen up, down, bottom of foot, sternum rub. Oh, wow. This must be the Jacques story.
Jacques Bousseau. Yeah, that
Yeah,
happened
that's
another time with him.
crazy.
Yeah, that is true. He did do that another time. It wasn't just that one.
Wow.
I remember that now.
Yeah,
But he
and
didn't.
it's-
He didn't fall asleep in the battery room that time. I think he just fell asleep in his behind his machines in his office or something. But that time he also did fall asleep for 2 days. I remember.
That's crazy. And
I mean,
and hey,
the sleep
shout out to
deprivation.
Jackson for his channel. Get on over there and subscribe.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. All right, Kathy O'Toole. What happened to the poor guy who slept for 3 days? Well, I think we covered that.
Well, he
Yeah,
moved to
and
Canada. He did actually end up escaping, and I think he moved back to Canada. So
Nice. Lady McSE 2000. Lady MCSE 2000.
yes.
Yay. Thank you for the super
you.
sticker.
Yay. MCSC. Woohoo.
Yay. Gary Jackson Moorhead again. I had Jacques taken to the hospital and found his body was shutting down, inducing his deep sleeps as his intestines were clogged, not pooping and septic setting in. Wow. He's lucky he didn't end up with sepsis then. That's crazy.
He didn't die.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
Mary Sue Hubbard again. In my crew, if someone passed out with their shoes on, was fair game to take a Sharpie and put lewd doodles on their face. Was this done in the Sea Org?
No, I don't
We all
think.
have doodles on our face.
Yeah. I think if
time when you
No, we're just like,
I think if you did something like that, you could get punched out. That wouldn't be. That's not a. There's not a lot of pranking in the Sea Org, and in
No.
the few pranks I did, there's hate videos about every single one of them up on my website.
oh my gosh.
Stacy, has Scientology ever harassed a non-Scientologist just because we talk negative and are, quote, guilty by association, unquote, sort of speak? Just curious if they're that paranoid.
Journalists,
There were a
TV
few people that were on
personalities,
ARS too in the spy files that they were going after who were never in.
professors.
sure.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
a professor by the name of Dave Turetsky. He might have, arguably, he might have more files than anyone else in the spy files.
Yeah.
Never a Scientologist. He was actually the one that they were fighting over because he was putting the Xenu story out there back in the 80s and early 90s, I think. And they did not like that. And we emailed with him the other day, and he said, everybody knows about Xenu now. There's nothing more I could do. He's like, it's
Yeah,
been on
and he was
South
like-
Park. It's been on the movies and TV. He's like, the word's out. There's no more action on that.
Yeah, and it was crazy. There were phone taps, all kinds of crazy stuff. But he said, "Yep, they didn't ruin my life, not one bit. I'm
Yeah.
still kicking."
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Jay, Mark and Claire, I didn't even blow 'em for good yet, so I got the audiobook. I just wanted to tell you two, it was so awesome how you stuck together through all that hell. Mark, your son using the book in school, you're a rock star.
Yeah. He did get an A on that, as far as
Yes.
I
Did he?
know. That's the
Yes,
word.
he
Yeah.
did. Amber Vaness, I saw it. Thanks. Oh, that's Amber. You won the book, and I got your email. Yay!
I started just so you guys would know that she saw it.
Yes. Yeah. No, I got her email. Kaz Ferns, a small contribution to see Mark in drag.
Oh yeah. If Claire or I find the photo, I'll show
Yeah.
it because it's.
I know we have it somewhere.
I've seen it. I was like, "Who's this broad?" I was like, "Oh, that's me."
Gino Dean, Sarasota Jerry in the house. Besides rice and beans, what was your favorite food served at Gold? My personal answer to that is none of it.
Oh, a combination fried rice all day long. They had
Well-
a fried rice that I could eat. You'd come out of a
Really?
tray.
Yeah.
Oh, I love me some
Oh,
fried rice.
no. Okay. I
They'd have
changed
these
my answer.
trays, and they'd
Yeah.
have just a pile of rice. That's nothing else. That's it. That's just rice. And what else do we have? Sometimes they would have.
No, sometimes they would
maybe-
remember they would have the Mid-Rats Cafe. So
Nope.
Mid-Rats was the term for food for the night crew.
It was called the
And-
Midnight rations.
It was called the
Yes.
Midnight Cafe.
Midnight. No, I thought it was called Mid-Rats.
No,
Did somebody
Mid-Rats
say
was just the
cafe?
normal meal that
Oh,
would happen.
Midnight Cafe. Okay,
Midnight
was the name of
Cafe
it.
is when there was
Yeah.
so many people at the base that were staying
For
up all
Mid-Rats.
night every
Yeah.
day that people would go to the galley because I mean, if you ate dinner at 5:30, or if you were an int and you ate it at 6 to 6:30, by 2 o'clock in the morning, you'd be hungry, and the canteen wouldn't stay open past like 11 o'clock at night.
Yes.
So people just started going in the kitchen and making food, being like, hey, if I'm going to work, I'm going to go make myself a sandwich, or I'm going to do. And the galley people start freaking out because they can't plan and da-da-da.
Plus,
Anyway,
there was hundreds of people.
and so we were stealing all the food for the week at nighttime. So David Miscavige ordered that they set up a cafe and make burgers and fries and hot dogs and coffee and sodas and milkshakes. It was like a 50s diner that only operated from midnight to like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
And that place was hopping at mid. You walk into the dining hall at 1 a.m. and there's like 200 people in there eating burgers and like living it up, and you're like, what's going on? He'd be like, well, they're making burgers, and like we got burgers like once a month or maybe every 2 months, and you could get burgers and of course you had to pay for it, but I think it was like $5 for a burger, fries, and a soda.
Yep.
And so if you weren't a smoker, you weren't a coffee drinker, you could probably, throw $5 and get a burger or whatever.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So good.
But yeah, that was a good time for a while there.
Yep.
I liked Panuccio made tiramisu. Panuccio was the baker, and he made tiramisu for my birthday one year, and it was authentic Italian tiramisu, and it was delicious.
That's my favorite.
Panuccio. We would when we were in the night shift, we would go in there and he would make special chocolate chip cookies for Dave, and we would eat those cookies all the time. We'd go in there at midnight.
Oh, that's great.
All right, apostate Alex in the house. Love hearing all these crazy stories. It's great that now you can look back and find the humor in the insanity. It's so important to laugh. Yes, it is.
Yeah. Laughing's way
100%.
funner than crying.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely. Catherine Olson in the house.
Hey,
Mark,
Catherine.
you need to show the cartoon that John drew of you being carried up the stairs by Claire.
Well, thanks for telling everybody, Catherine. Thank you very much for that.
It's pretty funny. I'm kind of famous, or whatever the word is. Famous might not be the right word around here, for my crazy habit of running up 200 stairs multiple times a day here at our local incline. That's my thing.
I think it's called infamous is the word you're looking
Infamous. There you go. Yeah. I do like 4 miles a day on that. It's where I find peace. So it was funny though, because I'm carrying Mark up the stairs, and
I'll make a deal, Catherine. If I find the costume photo, I will also show the sketch that your beau did of Claire carrying me up the stairs.
Nice.
We had a party at our house. I can't remember. I think it might have been July 4th or a Christmas party, something.
It was July 4th. It was last July 4th.
Last July 4th, we had a party. Well, Catherine, and is it her boyfriend or her husband? Are they married, or they're...
Significant other.
Significant, her partner. They decided to surprise us and show up like I didn't know they were coming. It was going to be a surprise. Well, by the time they got there, I was at the sleepy part of the drinking process. And I was out. And they came in the house, and I was asleep on the couch. And they were like, hi, okay, bye.
I played hostess with the mostest. I'm like, yeah, Mark's not in a talking mood right now. Sorry. You should have given us a heads up.
Yeah, we started drinking at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, exactly. We have good parties. All right, Pete in Toronto. How often does Claire say "to be clear"? Yeah, I probably say that a lot. To be clear, to be fair,
to be Claire. Everybody when I joined in that chat-a-thon, everybody would say, "Oh, I'm from Clearwater, Colorado," or "I'm from Clearwater."
That.
And
I'm from Clearwater, Colorado. I'm from Clearwater, New York. I'm from Clearwater, Canada.
Anyway,
that was awesome.
I posted it and I said, "I live in Clearwater."
Oh, nice. That's awesome. I love that. That's the best. Kaz Ferns. I'm super les, but do have little crushes on Marc and Matt, especially when Marc starts on Depeche Mode stories. Wish Nora was on this chat. Love y'all.
Oh, there you go.
Thank you. All right, Stephen Britton. So they tore the whole set down around Marc and just left him there. And nobody bothered to come back to collect him.
Exactly. It was so bizarre to me. I almost thought, like, what happened? Like, where am I? Like, did I go into a time machine? Wasn't there a stage here when I went under this?
I mean, you're 11 years old.
Yeah, it was definitely
I'm so
like,
glad you got back.
I think it was just too much, too full time for an 11. Like, I was working like 12 hours a day at 11 years old, riding around the car and talking on the walkie-talkie and giving out the snack. And I just like, you guys are, I'm 11, right? Like, I need to take some naps. This is too much.
Honey, can you bump me out? I'm going to have to prematurely say bye.
Sure.
Love you all.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us.
Okay.
We'll see you next Wednesday. Love you, Amy and Matt.
Yep, see you later.
Okay, we'll see you soon.
Alrighty.
We'll do more of these. It's fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
time. Oh, I kept hitting remove and it didn't remove her. Do you want me to read them and you answer them, or
Sure.
how do you guys want to do it? Because
Well,
I
yeah,
can.
you
I
go
can-
ahead and read them, and I can do the manage the little thing here.
Perfect. I'm Juliana Bittencourt. I'm still tired from the all-nighter on Monday, falling asleep here, but loving the laughter always. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you. Yes, Juliana was one of the. I mean, I logged in like 4 or 5 different times, and she was on every single time.
Right.
You want to pull? There you go. Kat and Maggie, Marc, which is better, Claire's bolognese or her Yorkshire puddings? Oh, the Yorkshire puddings we do together, and they are legitimately my favorite thing in the entire world.
Wow.
Yorkshire. We get some. We get like a bone-in ribeye, and we cook up these little. You guys, next time if you guys ever come, or if we come to Florida, we'll try to make these Yorkshire puddings. You guys would love them.
Oh, yeah. Definitely look forward to it. I heard a lot about them.
Does Claire, Denver Stevo says, does Claire have a picture of Butthead hanging on the wall behind her? That's freaking awesome. Good on you, Mrs. Headley. The picture on Claire's wall behind her is one of our sons did that a picture. I think it might even be a self-portrait. None of my kids look like that, but I think they they do. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Your son's painting of you reminds me of the artist Modigliani. Anyway, yeah, that's what I've been told. That is his style. That is how he paints. I'm sorry. He has the same style as that Italian painter, evidently. Robin Miner says, hey, my 4 faves, can you make a cartoon tee of the 4 of you in the SP shop? I watch all the SP TV channels and love you for all that your strength and laughter. Claire actually has been in email communication with a person who does the caricatures, which did the ones that we do have. So I can ask Claire if she can get that guy to do another one. He did the one he did for us. That's what he does for a living.
Oh, he's so good. I have mad respect for that talent.
He just sent it to us, and we were like, well, hey, you want us to pay you to be able to? He was like, oh no, you can keep it. I was like, oh, awesome.
Wow, crazy.
Casey, I always call her Casey, but her name is Cassie.
Yes.
Don't tell anybody, but I know how to say it. Cassie Isaac, love you all. Thank you, Cassie. She also, I think, I'll wait. Claire will know for sure, so I'm not going to say anything out of school. Maria de Jesus Gutierrez says, release form and guide to put on site I secured. Oh my gosh, this girl. Maria, she sent a ton of great videos that we're using for a video that we're working on. Yeah. And I have a release form. I just have to put it in a file, and I just keep forgetting. Okay, Maria, I got it. I made a note. I wrote it down. I have to write things down.
I love her name and the way she said on that video.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, there's like 7 other names that she says, because I don't think it'll fit in your profile to write all of the names.
Right.
Ann Taylor says, Marc, where did you get those spy files? Can you tell us? I got a bunch of them from, some of them I think are from Marty Rathbun, and some of them were from Mike Rinder. And the problem is that the files were they were accidentally buried in another folder. So for a long time, it wasn't really known how many of these files there were until I actually started going into every single folder and opening up because some folders had another 20 folders in it, and some of those
God.
folders had another 20 folders in it, and then some of those folders had another 20 folders in it. It was you think with all the attention to organization they have up there over in the Crazyville that they'd have some sense of file organization, and they do not.
And they don't, right?
And it's always like, use this one, final, last version, use this, exclam. That's how they name files. So I just happened to be digging, and then I just hit the mother lode. And it seems like the more I look, I hit even more and more. So I don't know. I think this is the thing that's going to do it. There's just, when you read some of these files, there's no way you can say that these guys aren't up to no good. It's just, it's just not possible to think.
I mean,
to be able, and the only problem that I see is that they're in Scientologies. That's the part that I see as the hurdle we have to get over, is that they're written in code in sort, just because there's a lot of abbreviations. A lot of them are Scientology abbreviations, and they're also using code names and stuff like that. But once you know who all the different players are and who the people are, it's very easy to decode them.
Yeah, like on some of them, they'll say an initial, and I'm like, who are they talking about? But then they say who it is, like 2 paragraphs down, their full name.
That's the craziest part. I was just going to say that. They use the person's code name for 75% of the document, and then in a target, like where the program is, they write the full name. So you know, because whoever's doing the target maybe not know their code name, so they got to know who the person is. And you're just like, this is so crazy to me that you would use the code name in the secret part of the documents, and then in the part that they have to kind of print out and distribute, they just use the full name, and that's what the secret documents. So you're just like, oh my goodness, you guys. Somebody needs to send these guys to F Troop. They need to send them to espionage school or something. Angie says, or Angie English, does Scientology fair game 9 Scientologists for speaking out against them? Thank you for all you do. Give Mike my best. Yeah, the only people that we found are, if you expose Scientology, like, I don't think you could get in trouble even necessarily for liking a video or something. I don't think they're going to track you down. If you do a magazine article or a TV show or a video on YouTube, or you start saying things about your experience, and you're going to show up on their radar. They're going to at least look into it. They're not going to do nothing. In the period where these files are, though, there was probably 10 people doing that, maybe 20 that were really causing them problems, maybe 30 at the most. Now it's got to be in the thousands at this point in terms of just
they're overwhelmed,
because there's a lot of
every little guy down.
You can't go after someone even now. I don't think you could just go after everyone who does a video, because there's too many video. I mean, there's probably 100 videos playing right now on YouTube that just happened in the last week or two that are Scientology related. At least 100. How can you go after 100 people who did videos, and probably 80 of those are from SPTV related channels, but then there's probably 20 or 30 that are just people going like, hey, have you seen this craziness with Scientology lately? And they just start talking about it. It's nothing you can do,
Yeah, and there's more to come.
Right. Oh my goodness, this year is going to be a good year for Scientology exposing.
It will be.
Nate Miniatures, love to hear the stories. Would love to see the 4 of you again. Is there anyone with Scientology you wish would blow and join in the fun stories from the past? Oh, I could think of all kinds of people that would be amazing. And a lot of those people have gotten out, to be honest. But is there anybody you guys remember that you would love if they were out here?
I want every single one of them to blow.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I don't really have any.
Shelley to blow.
Yeah, even the people that I wasn't really friends with, if they escaped, I would help them, and I would, I would do whatever I could, and I'd give them, tips and tricks, and don't do this and do this, and try to stay away from this. But I mean, there's only a few, like Mark Yeager. I wasn't a real big fan of. he really he had it out for me for years and years and years. So I'm not a big fan of him. I'd still help that dude if he came and said, "Hey," I'd still help him. I don't really, even Martin Reed. I'd help Martin Reed. I don't care. Whatever.
Yep. I feel the same way. Like, just anyone that needs help getting out of that situation, I would help them, because they turn into monsters because it's not necessarily their nature.
Yeah, they just had the wrong mission. That's all.
Yeah.
They were there for the right reasons. They just were doing the wrong work at the wrong time on the wrong page of the wrong day of the wrong week, and
there were some that I might think twice about. Like,
exactly. That's why I said, even when I was like Mark Yeager, we weren't the best of friends, and I'm not the biggest fan of his. But you know what? I'd probably still help him if he came and said, it was like, dude, you're the only person who helped. I'd be like, yeah, I don't know if you came to the right place or not, but I'll help you.
I would help him. He was my boss for like 18 years.
Yeah, I might remind him of a few things that happened. I might.
Oh, that's automatically happening.
Yeah, I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna help you. But you remember that time when you tried to take me off post because of that video thing and and you threw me under the bus? Yeah, not cool. I did not appreciate that at all. L. Wint says, what I meant is, will government use these docs without proof it's from Scientology? Yeah, there's no question it's from Scientology. Oh, yeah. And the best part is these almost all of these documents are in what's called dispatch or report form. So there is a to, there is a from, and there is CCs. So even though it's a secret document, in most cases, there are other people being copied on this secret document. It's not. There are names on the documents. Let me tell you that there are names, and there are post titles. So it says this is the person it's from, the post, and then in a lot of them they are signed, and they do say it's from Linda or it's from Kirsten or so. But the best part is if there were a legal action to be taken by anyone, law enforcement or an individual, because there's a lot of human rights that have been violated in these documents as well, like wiretaps, recording people without them knowing about it, spying, stealing garbage, breaking and entering. There's a lot of things that are going on in these documents, which are 100% shady, if not just flat out illegal. Totally. So if there was some sort of lawsuit or investigation, and these were asked for in discovery, it is reasonable to say that they would have copies of them, because they don't ever get rid of anything. Per policy, they're not allowed to shred things. They're not allowed to destroy files or folders. They have to keep them. L. Ron Hubbard was very, very, very specific that you can never delete some of these things. And so it's plausible to say somebody could subpoena or ask for them in discovery or however the legal process is and say, we know you have copies of these, and here's 400 that we'd like to see copies of. It's reasonable to also expect they can't have all 400 be lost. They're going to have to show up with some of these copies. They could sure enough say, yeah, well, these 20, we don't know where that came from or where it went. But the other ones
at the Int base, we did total shredding parties. We had containers like the boxcar containers, that you have on a train.
Yes.
Full of documents that we had to vet, like cut out.
I was just going to say, they weren't always shredding. It was cutting names out of documents.
We shredded.
Razor blades cutting out Hubbard's.
I remember that. Yeah.
We did that, and we also shredded.
Yeah.
They put them in acid baths.
Yeah, I remember that remember one time they hired a service to do it, and it was a huge flap that they loaded the truck, and then the truck drove someplace to do it. So then they had to have it like, no, you gotta put it in the acid. You can't just give it to some guy in a truck. You got to put it in the acid.
Who drives up the property?
I know, it was like it was one of those things like. We'll shred
it, don't worry.
Well, that was the other thing, is that they had this shredder at the Int base, and this thing was so loud that you had to wear like race car ear protection so that you wouldn't go deaf.
I spent hours in that room.
And people would put phone books in this thing and jam it. It seemed to be jammed 100 out of 101 days. This thing would be jammed up. And so what would happen is you would get assigned a lower condition of treason if you did not do your shredding every single night. Yeah. Someone's job was to take that shredding and go shred it, no matter what. If they were being strict, if there was shredding that was overflowing in your area, someone's in trouble. Whoever's in charge of the shredding is in trouble. So you'd bring the shredding, you put it in a bag, and you bring it down to the shredder. If the shredder was broken, you just drop it. You're good. You did your job. You got it to the shredder. Like, hey, sorry. And the only kind of wishy-washy threat was if the shredding got found, like if somebody, when they fixed the shredder, usually somebody would just do all the shredding that was there. Whoever had like a ton of shredding would just do it all. But if your shredding got left and it was your stuff, then you just open the bag and you go like, oh, this is for manufacturing over the tapes department. And it looks like Headley's going to get lit up. Because everybody knew who the shredding guy was for their area. Everybody knew. You were, if you were the shredding guy, you knew all the other shredding guys. And but this machine was always broken.
A thing called a watch quarter station bill. And it had a list of everybody's, aside from your job, these are the other assignments that you get assigned. So
yes. Anyway, but those documents were only like internal to each other documents for the most part. We weren't shredding like issues or reports or programs. No. It was just stuff internal between dispatches. Us. Like, Amy was really mean to me today.
Oh, that would go straight in the shredder.
Yes, straight to the shredding. Forever 43 NER. Claire and Amy and the rest of y'all have made me brave to start my channel. Thank you, a.k.a. Lady BB. Yes, thank you, Lady BB. That's really nice. Lady BB was, I think, was in the chat on the chatathon. Stacy says, love your top, Amy. Where did you get it?
From my mother-in-law.
Oh, wow. Look at you. Fancy pantsy over here. Susie B says, happy to meet you, Matt. Love all SPTV. Thank you, Susan B. Susan B, I've seen Susan B on a few different channels. I think she comments frequently, enough that I remember.
Go over to our channel, at who is Amy Scobee, and there's you know how you can put a bunch of videos into a playlist? I made a playlist of the escape stories that we did, and there's 4 of them, I think, which you would really, if you like Matt, you'll love those. We were laughing our butts off.
Nice.
Really, really fun stories.
I do like that playlist functionality in the
Me too.
Being able, because you can do any videos, your channel, other people's channel, it can be anything.
Yeah, and I put this series of the Wednesday nights, Claire.
Has its own playlist?
Yep.
Nice. FBC123me says, LRH died on January 24th, 1986. 4 days later, the Space Shuttle Challenger exploded. I heard the commander, Dick Scobee, was related to Amy. You want to tell the story, Amy? Because this is pretty, David Miscavige. This is not a good story about David Miscavige.
Yeah, well, I won't go into the whole thing. Yes, Dick Scobee is my uncle. He's my dad's brother and his only sibling, his older brother. And so, he was on that flight. It was apparently good news that the Challenger blew up because it overshadowed the news of the Challenger explosion, overshadowed any negative public relations that news organizations were to put out with regards to L. Ron Hubbard dying. So
because he died just a few days before that.
Right. So and they were worried about a bunch of bad PR because he also had psych drugs in his system and all kinds of other things, and they didn't want any of this news getting out. And it was like a lucky break. Well, it wasn't so lucky for my family.
Yeah, but I remember that. I remember hearing that about, oh, no one heard about it because that other thing happened, and it was like, ooh, yikes.
Yeah, exactly. Mark's met my aunt, June, who was married to Dick Scobee.
I have. She is a wonderful, wonderful woman.
One of the stupid fair game things that Scientology did was had my Aunt June talk at a Writers of the Future without telling her it was Scientology.
Yeah, Writers of the Future is like a book contest that Scientology runs.
author services branch. And it's like a covert, you know how they have like Citizens Commission on Human Rights and Narcan and all these things are Scientology, but they're just under a cloak that makes it so you don't know it right away. Anyway, so they're such scumbags.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Seneca, thank you, Seneca. I loved your reaction to the Get Well card to Mike. That video was awesome. Yeah, they never sent that thing to me yet, or they haven't. At least I haven't seen it. I've checked my email, but I can't wait. I think they might be editing it or polishing it up or tweaking it or something. I don't know, but I can't wait to send it to Mike.
Yeah, it's really good.
Thank you for that, Seneca. Bo Beats. Hi, Mark. Has Mike seen the video yet? No, I don't know if he has or not. He may have watched it already. I do not know. Right. I haven't. I chat with Mike all the time, back and forth with Mike and Christy, but I'm waiting to get the video before I say anything about the video. Right. I don't want to broach the subject, and then they go like, "What?" Bo Beats. Hey, Osa, show your boss my non-tandem first skydive.
Why don't I get it?
She's just saying she has a video. Just show somebody. Just like that's the other funny thing is that we're kind of breaking the fourth wall because we know Osa's watching the videos. So the never ends. They're always trying to talk to Osa. They're like, "Hey Osa, how's it going, Osa?" In the comments. It's so hilarious to me that everybody is just like, we know they're watching, so just say hi to them.
Right.
VSP since 1970. I was seriously harassed in Canada in the 70s for continually and relentlessly trying to get my brother and others to see that Scientology was a dangerous cult. Phone calls day and night, stalking, etc. Yeah, so that's where that's a good point. That is another way you can get on their radar is if you have a family member, and I try to say this as often as I can. If you have a family member that's in Scientology, don't write them nasty letters because then you will be kind of show up on their radar. The way I suggest doing it, this is just me. Other people might have other ways to do it. I suggest being very friendly with your family that's in Scientology and ensuring that they know that you have to tell them, if you ever go on vacation or when you retire, you want to come visit us, or if you ever need anything, please, here's my number. This is where I live. This is my email, whatever you can give them. I think that's the best thing that you can do for them because just knowing that there is some island outside of where they are, there's a place somewhere that they could go if they needed to go for enough time to figure it out. I think that would help a lot of Sea Org members just if they knew that, because a lot of them think because they're doing their thing and they haven't talked to you for 15 years, they think that you don't care about them, that you're not related to them, that you're not part of their life. So why would they care about you? And maybe you don't care about them and maybe you don't write them. But if you do care about them and you do genuinely feel that if they escape that you would help them, then let them know that there is a place for them if they go on vacation or when they retire or if they're ever in the area. Don't say, "Hey, if you ever decide to break out of that joint," don't say that. You just say on vacation. It won't even
make it to them.
Yeah, or just say
they won't even see that.
Or just say there's a family reunion coming up that we'd love for you to come to. That is the family reunion is a tough one for Scientology because if a family member is saying, "Oh, we're having a family reunion," and you're invited, if you invite them every year and they don't come, you could say, "Hey, it's been 4 years since we've invited you and you haven't come. If you're welcome, you're welcome to come. We hope you're okay. We hope everything's good. We hope you're in good health." That sort of Scientology is like, "Hey, you got to go to this reunion," because they're reading all of their mail before they get it. So they read these things and sometimes these things get flagged and they say, "Hey, there's a situation with your family because you're not going to these family." You're like, "Yeah, I would never in a million years get approved." Well, you're getting approved. You're going to your family reunion. Yep. And Kim here, she's going to go with you. It's like, Kim, I don't know. Kim's your new best friend and she's going with you to this family reunion. and she's just going to be with you in case you need anything or anything. And when you're there, oh yeah, she's going to be my babysitter. Make sure I don't fly the coop. But that's why I'm saying we have heard of Sea Org members going on family reunions when they hadn't for years. We're now hearing that they are because a family member contacted and said, hey, and they're doing this. So if you have a relative, please do not antagonize them. Don't write them crazy letters. Just letters of encouragement and support. And if they ever need a place to stay while they're on vacation or that your place could be one of those places. And
Exactly.
That's what I suggest.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's perfect.
We're almost there, guys. Ann Taylor says, love you guys. I'm a never-end who has been following Scientology for over 20 plus years. In the early days, the websites used to disappear overnight. PPS, listening to BFG, so good. Thank you very much for that, Ann Taylor. Yeah, they would literally have and that's in a lot of these documents as well, where they would be trying to figure out how to shut a website down or shut a message board down. And you're right. They would infiltrate some of these message boards and then just take the whole thing out and
and it's interesting some of the things that they would do in order to infiltrate
Let me just do this real quick so she doesn't miss whatever you're saying.
Hi.
Hold
Hi,
on.
Claire.
I don't know. 1 second.
Yeah, she got it set up, but I just wanted to make sure. I saw her there, so I just beamed her in like Scotty.
I know. I was like, wait, I wasn't ready. I wasn't even hooked up. I'm like, oh my gosh. I was busy doing important SP business. Sorry about that.
Yes.
Very SP.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, say what you were going to say, Amy.
What was it? What were we talking about?
We were talking about helping people and the family members and busting them out, or
oh no, it was that last message. Oh, we lost it. But so I forget what it was.
She read the book. She said, "Listen to the book." Audible. Are you going to do an Audible version of your book?
That isn't what she was talking about.
She said she was a never in.
When you see the OSA, inside the OSA files, what they do on the message boards, like they'll pretend they'll just totally take over the message board with these totally off-topic subjects that gets everybody completely distracted and off the subject of Scientology. And so their targets say, do this on these programs. So yeah, they'll cancel the websites, they'll overtake them, they'll distract, throw up all these distractions. And we saw that when on the
in real time.
In real time when it was happening.
Yeah, that is one of the things they did say in there. They had, I think it was on the Operation Clambake, which was called the OCMB message board, or OCMB, the Operation Clambake message board. And they said that they had 10 accounts set up on there to be able to do that. So what they would do is everybody be like, oh my gosh, Blown for Good wrote something. And then they'd be like, but did you hear about the thing that happened over at the Hollywood building? And then everybody's like, oh yeah, I saw that. And then, so they have 10 people that get in this thing and everyone's like, what happened in Hollywood? What are they talking about? And he's just like, it's like, oh, these are their fake accounts, just like derailing the threads.
Yes.
But when you see them in do you guys have all of the documents or you just have the ones about you guys?
Just the ones that you sent me.
I'm going to send you all of them. Just so
okay, and then we can just do searching because they call me all kinds of different things, so it'll be different weird searches.
Yeah, every once in a while I'll read a document that has my name in it, but they spelled it with a K, so that I never saw it and like on my SP declare, it's spelled with a K. It's like I was there for 15 years and I didn't even know how to spell my name. Like, come on, man. I told it, I went to Starbucks one time. I said, it's Mark with the C, and I got the cup, and it said Cark. It said C-A-R-K. Cark. I was like, wow, Mark with the C, Cark. Okay, Starbucks. Really, you guys are really hitting it out of the park over here.
You know how to pick them.
Anyway, I'll send you all of them. You will see that there is insanity.
We'll warn you right now. There's many very deep rabbit holes in these files.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Because I'm going to send Matt the FP. I'm just like, just here. I'll send you whatever.
Yes.
Forever 43 NER. Please see my super chat for Claire. Thanks.
Oh, please read
my super chat.
How do you
for
go
Claire?
Back and find
Thanks.
Them? I don't know.
We read every single super chat.
I know they were saying to read it to me.
Oh, it was the picture behind you. They love the picture behind you for Grayson.
So here, that's Grayson's self-portrait. See?
Yeah.
And it is Madigliano.
Yeah,
Somebody
there you go.
commented.
See, I told
Yeah.
you, Claire knows
Yeah.
exactly the style. She's
Yeah.
up with all this stuff. She's
Wow.
artsy fartsy.
Yeah,
folks.
so Grayson is a very talented artist.
Okay, here, you
Really
got to put
is.
up these last chats because it
Okay.
answers the questions. Are you taking these files to the FBI? To tell you the truth, the FBI has had these files for way longer than I have. So I think, I'm not sure exactly who at the FBI was giving them, but the FBI does have a lot of these files.
Yep.
As far as I know, as far as I have been told, they do have it. What I'm doing now is I am categorizing them. I'm sharing them with the people that they're about. I'm sharing them with the politicians they're about. I'm sharing them with the law enforcement that they're about. I'm giving them to everyone who's involved in them, whether they know it or not. And I'm just trying to get somebody to talk about these things because
Yes.
anybody that I give these files to, their mind is blown.
My
One
mind.
for one. There's not one
Yeah.
person who's read these files that understands Scientologies. That's not just like, oh, why are not
Why is there not a
government
raid
vehicles
going on?
driving onto their property right
Yeah.
now?
Yeah.
Like what is going on in America
And-
that these guys can just do? It's basically. They have these little Guantanamo bays all over the United States. They got people
Yeah.
all locked up. And the people that are telling everybody, hey, there's Guantanamo bays all over the place and these people are locked up, they're trying to destroy our lives. And they are documenting every little step of it. So
Yes.
it is literally unbelievable. It's one of those things. It's like, how is this happening?
And I've told the FBI, I said, I will translate anything. I know, I
Yeah.
speak that language.
Yes, I know. It is like a different language. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Oh, man.
Marilyn says, Steve-O is being a perfectionist, LOL. He is doing a little more editing to the video, but it's the 3rd hour mark of the chatathon on our channels. Yeah, I know that. Listen, if somebody's making a video and it's their video, I don't want to share it with the person it's for until that person wants me to do it. So I know how that is. If I did a video and I wanted to make some tweaks to it, I'd wish that he could see the final version. So that's exactly why I assumed he hadn't said. He knows I'm going to get the email and I'm going to send it right to Mike. So
Yeah.
I'm ready whenever he wants to send it to me.
Yep.
Thank you, Marilyn. I knew it. I knew that. I was just guessing, but yes. Okay, this is the last and final one. Selena Michelle again. Thank you, Selena Michelle.
Yay.
Super duper frequent flyer. We're going to have to upgrade her to first class. I mean, that's just how it is. This has been an awesome live. Thank you guys. There's one other one. And now I remember that Forever it was about Claire. It was about the video. The message for you was about Forever 43 is going to start her channel. It's going to start her channel.
Yay. Awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank
So,
you.
yes, she
The
said
more
that
voices,
it was.
the better. Every
That's right.
voice counts.
More the merrier.
She
Every
said
voice
you
counts.
inspired her to do her channel.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you.
Yes.
This was a ton of
love it.
fun, guys. I'm probably
It
the one
was.
who just talked the entire time, as people always tell me. But I tried to listen to all of Matt's stories about beer, and yeah. So
No, this was amazing. And
was
it's nice
great.
to know that there were actually some fun times before we got there. It's a shame we missed
Yes.
them, but
I mean,
Yeah.
I made a list and I never even got to them.
Oh, it's okay. We'll have to do a part 2. How about that?
well, we can do
Yes,
another one.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, no problem at all. Very much fun. And so now there's the ticker. So subscribe to both of our channels.
Yay for
Yay.
subscribing.
Yes. And then let's go over here because I'm going to play. I have a little outro that I'm going to
Is this a
play.
premiere, an outro premiere?
No, I mean, I did it last week.
Oh,
But this
okay.
is premiering to you, Mark.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay,
I
everyone.
can't wait. Bye, guys.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
That was not time. It was a little loud for me.